What if the woman history, branded as repentant sinner, was, in truth, the silent guardian of a divine flame? Could it be that Mary Magdalene carried not merely devotion in her heart, but the very vessel of eternity itself? Beneath the layered silences of cathedrals and the dust of ancient scrolls, a deeper current stirs, an older sanctity, veiled in shadow, older than the creeds that sought to eclipse it. Flickering torchlight dances across weathered stone. Wind whispers through hollow crypts where secrets sleep like embers beneath ash. A truth too fragile, too radiant, buried by those who feared its light. But let's take a moment. Breathe in the hush of midnight and let the centuries fall away. In the sun-scorched hills of first-century Judea, amid olive groves and the murmur of sacred rivers, walks a woman whose gaze holds the weight of prophecy. Her name, Mary of Magdala, echoes through time, entwined with the Nazarene, the chalice, the bloodline unspoken. Join me as we uncover the veiled prophecy of Magdalene and drift into the hidden legacy she carried through the ages. In the hush before dawn, when the first pale light trembles on the Sea of Galilee, can you feel a presence lingering at the edge of memory? Let the water breathe against the hull of an unseen boat. Salt air curls cool across your skin. Somewhere, a reed bends, and the lake keeps its ancient counsel. Close your eyes. Let the world soften. History, they say, remembers Mary Magdalene as the penitent, the woman from whom 7 demons fled, the grateful follower who washed feet with tears and dried them with her hair. But pause here, in this half-light. Feel the sand still warm beneath your bare feet from yesterday's sun. What if the story they handed down was only the outer veil? Breathe in, breathe out. The Gospels name her first at the tomb. Not Peter, not John, Mary. She stands in the garden while the others flee or hide. Her shadow falls across the folded linen, and the air itself seems to wait. Could it be that the empty shroud was not the end of the mystery, but its quiet beginning? Listen. A nightjar calls once, then falls silent. In the stillness, another image forms. Not the sinner kneeling in shame, but a woman entrusted. Her hands, once stained with nard, now cradle something heavier than perfume. A lineage, a promise, a living chalice no goldsmith ever forged. The Grail, whisper the old stories, was never a cup of silver or emerald. It was warmer, it pulsed, it had a heartbeat. Let the thought settle like mist. Scholars will argue for centuries over bloodlines and thrones. Tonight, we need none of their clamor, only the hush, only the possibility. Imagine her walking the lakeshore at twilight, the hem of her robe dark with water. Stars begin their slow ignition above the hills of Magdala. She lifts a child to her hip. No scripture records the gesture, yet the silence allows it. A secret too tender for parchment, too vast for any single creed. Feel the temperature drop. The wind shifts, carrying the scent of time and distant wood smoke. Somewhere, a dog barks once and thinks better of it. You are not hurried. There is no need to prove or disprove, only to listen. The church built its cathedrals on the rock of Peter, but the earth itself remembers another foundation, softer, more yielding, feminine. Let your shoulders loosen. Let the day's sharp edges dissolve. In the canonical tales, Magdalene is witness, supporter, restored soul. Yet Gnostic fragments, buried, burned, rediscovered, call her something else. Teacher, beloved. The one to whom the risen one first appeared. Noli me tangere, he warns, but his eyes say the opposite. Touch, but not yet. Carry, but do not cling. The message is for her alone, and through her, for the ages. Picture the scene again. Dawn has not fully arrived. The horizon is a thin blade of rose. She stands before the open tomb, tears cooling on her cheeks. In her quiet hands, she holds not only grief, but the future itself, a seed, a flame, a bloodline that will slip through empires like water through fingers. Rome will rise and fall, libraries will burn, dogma will harden like lava, yet the seed endures. Let the lake lap once more against the stones. Let the reeds sway. You are safe here, between waking and dreaming. No doctrine will disturb you. No debate will raise its voice. Only the whisper remains. Threading through 2,000 years of dust and candle smoke, a woman, a secret, a vessel no hand can break. The stars pale. A cock crows far off, uncertain of the hour. Soon, the fishermen will push their boats into the gray water. Soon, the world will wake and forget. But not yet. For one more breath, linger in the veil. Feel the weight of what was never written, yet never lost. Let the warm wind carry you southward, past olive groves heavy with silver leaves, until the stones of Magdala rise from the earth like forgotten prayers. Feel the grit beneath your soles. The path is narrow, sun-baked, scented with wild fennel crushed underfoot. Breathe slowly. Let the heat settle on your shoulders like a linen cloak. Magdala. In Aramaic, Migdal Nunya, Tower of the Fishes. A town that once pulsed with the slap of nets, the hiss of fish on hot stones, the low laughter of merchants haggling over salt barrels. You stand where the lake kisses the land. The water is glass still, reflecting a sky the color of bleached bone. A single heron lifts from the reeds, wings beating the silence into ripples. Archaeologists speak softly here. Their trowels whisper against basalt. They have uncovered a synagogue no larger than a village hall, its floor strewn with the ghosts of first-century footsteps. One of those prints, perhaps, was hers. Imagine the cool shade inside, the scent of cedar beams, Torah scrolls unrolling like pale tongues. Women were not barred from this place. The stones remember their murmured prayers. Walk the Cardo, the main street, now only a double line of broken columns. Your shadow stretches long in the late afternoon. To your left, the remains of a fish processing plant. Vats carved from living rock, still slick with ancient brine. Magdala fed the Galilee. Its salted fish traveled Roman roads as far as Antioch. Prosperity pooled here like oil in a lamp. A woman of means could own property, command boats, speak with authority. Nothing in the earth contradicts her. Pause at the thermal baths. Steam once rose through hippocausts, now only wind sighs through the hollow bricks. Feel the faint warmth still trapped in the stones. Essene influence, some say. Ritual immersion, purity before prayer. The mikveh here is deep, its steps worn smooth by countless descents. Did she lower herself into that water at twilight, hair floating like dark seaweed, eyes fixed on a future no one else could see? Listen, a cicada saws the air, then stops. In the hush, the town speaks in fragments. A child's clay whistle, the creak of a loom, the slap of dough against a baker's board. Daily life, ordinary and luminous. Yet beneath the ordinary, something thrums. Magdala sat on the Via Maris, the way of the sea, where caravans from Damascus brushed shoulders with pilgrims bound for Jerusalem. Ideas crossed here like currents. Greek philosophy, Persian star lore, Egyptian mysteries wrapped in linen and silence. Let your fingertips trail along a wall of black basalt. The stone drinks the day's heat and gives it back slowly, like a secret. In 2009, excavators found a coin hoard beneath the floor. Herod Antipas, Tetrarch of Galilee, his profile worn almost smooth. Time's gentle erasure. Nearby, a bronze incense shovel, its bowl still blackened by sacred smoke. Was it hers? No inscription claims it, yet the possibility hovers, fragrant as myrrh. Step into the synagogue again. Sunlight slants through the broken roof, striping the mosaic floor with gold. At the center, a carved stone. Some call it a Torah table, others a miniature temple. On its face, 7-branched menorah, palm columns, a rosette that might be a star or a womb. Scholars argue, you need only feel the weight of centuries pressing downward, gentle as a hand on the shoulder. The Essenes, those white-robed guardians of hidden scrolls, lived not far north at Qumran. Their footprints have been found on Magdala's shores. Did they speak with her? Did they recognize in her eyes the same fire that burned in their wilderness camps? Purity, preparation, a kingdom not of this world yet rooted in flesh and bread and wine. Evening gathers. The lake turns molten copper. Fishermen's voices drift across the water, low and rhythmic, mending nets by lamplight. You can almost taste the smoke of their fires, olive wood, fish spines crackling. Somewhere a woman sings a lullaby in Aramaic, the notes rising and falling like breath. Is it her voice? The wind refuses to answer. Stand on the pier that is no longer a pier, only a tumble of stones sliding into the depths. Beneath you, the lake keeps its own archive. Pottery shards, a child's sandal sole, a lead fishing weight etched with a tiny fish, and deeper, silt older than memory. Magdala prospered, then faded. Earthquakes cracked its walls. Byzantine pilgrims built a church over the synagogue, then abandoned it. The town slept beneath vineyards and thistle until the trowels returned. Let the last light bleed from the sky. Stars prick out, one by one. The air cools. You feel it on your forearms, a subtle blessing. In this place of commerce and devotion, of salt and scripture, a woman walked. She owned her house. She commanded respect. She watched the teacher arrive by boat, dust on his sandals, eyes like the lake at noon. Her name was Mary, called Magdalene. Not because she came from a tower, perhaps, but because she became one, a watchtower of witness, a beacon no empire could extinguish. The town gave her roots. The lake gave her reflection. The synagogue gave her words older than the stones themselves. Feel the ground beneath you now. It is not empty. It hums with the quiet industry of 2,000 years ago. Fish scales once glittered here like scattered coins. Children chased hoopoes through the alleys. And one woman, between the buying and the selling, between the prayer and the mending, gathered a secret brighter than gold. Let the night settle fully. Let the lake exhale. You are not required to believe, only to listen. The dust of Magdala clings to your souls, soft as forgiveness. The air thickens with spikenard. Its perfume coils like incense through the low-ceilinged room, catching the lamplight in golden haze. Let the scent settle on your tongue, heavy, green, almost bitter. Breathe once. Breathe again. You are in Bethany, 6 days before the Passover, and the house is crowded with breath and shadow. Feel the packed earth floor beneath woven mats. A single oil lamp gutters on a clay stand, its flame trembling whenever someone shifts. The walls are rough plaster, cool to the touch. Outside, cicadas saw the dusk. Inside, voices murmur low as if the very air fears to disturb what is coming. A woman enters, no announcement, only the soft rustle of linen. She carries an alabaster jar, sealed with wax the color of dried blood. Her hair is unbound, a dark river against her shoulders. The room stills. Even the lamp seems to lean forward. She kneels, not in supplication, but in ceremony. Her fingers find the neck of the jar, a twist, a crack like thin ice. The perfume floods the space, so potent that a man near the door coughs once, then forgets to breathe. Nard, pure, costlier than a year's wages for a day laborer. The scent is green earth and distant mountains, crushed petals and something almost animal. Watch her pour. The oil slides thick and amber over the teacher's feet. It pools between his toes, catches the light like liquid topaz. She bends lower. Her hair falls forward, a curtain of night. She loosens it fully, lets it sweep the floor, then gathers the excess oil, wiping, massaging, anointing. Each motion deliberate, each motion a wordless psalm. A voice breaks the hush. Judas, his tone sharp with practicality. Why this waste? The money could have fed the poor. His words hang like a dropped coin, ringing too loud. The teacher's reply is soft, almost a lullaby. The poor you will always have with you, but me you will not always have. Let the sentence settle. Feel its weight on the gathered shoulders. Step closer, though your only breath and memory. See the oil darken the dust on the floor. See it sheen the woman's hair until it gleams like polished obsidian. This is no mere act of gratitude. This is unction, royal, priestly. The same oil once poured over kings in hidden caves, over prophets before their wilderness trials. In Egypt, Isis anointed Osiris with spikenard to recall his soul from death. Here, in a village house, the gesture circles back to older gods. Feel the temperature rise, not from the lamp, but from the friction of what is happening. The disciples shift uneasily. They smell extravagance. They smell burial. The teacher himself leans back against the wall, eyes half closed, as though listening to music only he can hear. His feet glisten. The woman's hands move slowly, reverently, as if touching the hinge between worlds. Let the scent carry you deeper. Spikenard was carried in camel caravans from the Himalayas, across burning deserts, through bandit mountains. Each drop a fortune, each drop a prayer. She has saved it, perhaps for years. Perhaps since the first time she heard him speak by the lake. Now it is spent in a single, reckless cascade. Listen to the silence after Judas falls quiet. It is not empty. It is pregnant. The oil seeps into the cracks of the floor, into the weave of the mats, into the memory of the house itself. Years from now, when the roof caves and the walls crumble, the earth here will still exhale that fragrance on hot afternoons. Consider the jar, alabaster, thin as eggshell, carved in Phoenicia, traded in Tyre. Once broken, it cannot be mended. She knew this. She chose fracture over preservation. The gesture says, some things are meant to be used up entirely. Some truths are too potent to be stored. Watch her face. No tears now. Only concentration. Her lips move, perhaps in prayer, perhaps in promise. The lamplight catches a bead of oil on her wrist. It trembles, then falls. Where it lands, the dust turns to mud, dark and fragrant. A tiny baptism. The teacher lifts one foot, then the other, letting her finish. His silence is consent. His silence is coronation. In this moment, she is high priestess. Though no temple acknowledges her, she anoints the one who will anoint the world. The circle closes, fragrant and inevitable. Feel the room exhale. The tension unwinds like a loosened thread. Someone passes bread. Someone pours wine. But the scent remains, clinging to robes, to beards, to the inside of nostrils. It will travel with them to Jerusalem. It will rise with the dust of the Via Dolorosa. It will mingle with sweat and blood and vinegar. Let your own breath slow to match the rhythm of the house. In, out. The oil has done its work. The feet are clean, perfumed, ready for the road that ends at a hill of skulls. The woman sits back on her heels. Her hands are empty now, except for the faint sheen of nard. She does not wipe them. She lets the residue linger, a second skin. Outside, the first star appears. Inside, the lamp steadies. The disciples resume their talk, but softer now, as if afraid to disturb the perfume's slow ascent toward the rafters. Judas stares at the floor, lips pressed thin. The woman stares at nothing, or perhaps at everything. Let the scene dissolve gently. Let the walls fade to starlit hills. The house in Bethany becomes a memory within a memory, yet the scent remains, threading through centuries like a golden wire. In medieval monasteries, monks will try to recreate it, distilling roses and cloves, failing to capture the wild heart of nard. In Renaissance apothecaries, it will be sold by the dram to anoint the dying. But its first outpouring was here, in a village room, at the feet of a man who knew his hour. Feel the oil on your own skin now, though you were never there. Feel its warmth, its weight. It asks nothing of you. It only reminds. Some gestures are prophecies in liquid form. Some devotion is too expansive for words. The lamp flickers once, then holds. The night deepens. The woman rises, jar shards crunching softly underfoot. She does not look back. She has done what she came to do. The fragrance will follow her, and him, and all who come after. Let the silence return. Let it be thick with spikenard and unspoken covenants. Let it cradle you as you drift toward whatever comes next. Thunder rolls low over Golgotha. The sky bruises violet, and the wood of the cross creaks like an ancient door opening. Let the wind find you. It smells of dust and iron, of crushed wormwood and distant rain. Stand here. Feel the ground tremble beneath your bare feet, each tremor a hammer blow, echoing in bone. The hill is not high, yet it feels like the roof of the world. 3 crosses rise black against the storm. The central beam carries the teacher. His weight pulls the nails deeper. Blood beads, dark as pomegranate seeds, then drip some onto the parched earth. Around you the crowd is a restless sea, some weeping, some jeering, some already turning away. But you remain. Your shadow merges with hers. She is there, beneath the cross, not at the edge, not hidden. Mary of Magdala stands where the shadow of the upright falls across her shoulders like a mantle. Her robe is the color of dried figs, once fine, now torn at the hem and speckled with road dust. Her hair is unbound, tangled by wind and grief. Her eyes, let them hold you, are wide, unblinking, fixed on the face above. Listen. The soldier's dice clatter on a cloak. A centurion's voice barks an order. Somewhere a woman wails, raw as a shofar. But closer, beneath the cross, there is only breath. Hers. His. The labored in and out that sounds like waves retreating from a wounded shore. Feel the temperature drop. The storm gathers its cloak. A first cold drop strikes your cheek, then another. The sky splits, lightning forks, illuminating the scene in silver white. For an instant, every face is revealed. Soldiers, priests, disciples in hiding. And her, steady as basalt. She does not flinch. She has already wept the ocean. Now only salt tracks remain. The synoptic gospels place her at a distance. Matthew, Mark, Luke. Each careful, each measured. They speak of women looking on from afar. But John, John, sets her at the foot of the cross itself, with the beloved disciple, with the mother, with Salome. A small circle of fidelity while the world fractures. Let John's words settle like incense. Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. Stand with them. Feel the wood shudder as the teacher shifts. Hear the wet rattle in his chest. Smell the vinegar on the sponge lifted to his lips. The soldiers have grown quiet. Even mockery tires. Only the wind remains, whipping cloaks, snapping banners, carrying the scent of blood upward like an offering. She lifts her face. Rain mingles with tears, but her gaze does not waver. In Gnostic fragments, those tattered leaves from Nag Hammadi, she is called the one who stood, not knelt, not fainted, stood, a pillar of witness while empires crumble. The Greek word is histemi, to stand firm, to endure, to be present. Feel the strength in her knees, though they must ache. Feel the resolve in her spine, though grief would bend iron. Watch her hands. They are empty now. No jar, no cloth, no comfort to offer. Yet they rise, slowly, palms open to the storm. A gesture older than temples. A receiving. A holding without touching. Above her, the teacher's head falls forward. His eyes, clouded with pain, search the small knot of women. They find her. In that look, a lifetime passes. Words unspoken, yet louder than thunder. Let the moment stretch. Let the rain become a curtain. In the Gospel of Peter, an apocryphon the church set aside, the cross itself speaks. But here, in the silence between heartbeats, another voice rises. Hers. Not aloud. Not yet. But in the marrow. A covenant sealed in blood and storm. She is entrusted, not with a message for the men hiding in the upper room, with something older, something that will outlast nails and wood and empire. Feel the earth drink, each drop of blood, each drop of rain, seeping into the skull-shaped hill. Golgotha, place of the skull. Adam's skull, legend will say, buried beneath the cross. Old death meeting new life. She stands at the hinge. Her shadow lengthens, merges with the shadow of the upright, becomes one dark river flowing downward. A soldier glances at her, then away. Even he senses the weight. The mother leans on the beloved disciple, her sobs muffled against his shoulder. But Magdalene stands alone now, apart yet central. Her lips move, perhaps the Shema, perhaps his name, perhaps nothing the wind can carry. Listen to the creak again. The wood protests. The sky splits wider. Darkness falls at noon, thick as felt. Torches flare, useless against the gloom. In that unnatural night, her silhouette is all that remains clear. A woman, a witness, a vessel filling with the final drops of a dying light. Feel your own heart slow, match her breath, in, out. The space between filled with storm and silence. She does not look away when the end comes, when the head falls, when the cry, raw, guttural, wordless, tears from the teacher's throat, when the earth shakes and the veil in the temple rends from top to bottom. She is there, she sees, she remembers. The soldiers break the legs of the thieves, thud, thud, but not his. Already gone. A spear pierces the side, blood and water flow. She watches the stream catch the torchlight, red then clear, like a prophecy in two colors. Her robe drinks a few drops. She does not wipe them away. Let the rain ease. Let the darkness thin. The crowd disperses, cloaks clutched tight, voices hushed. Only the women remain. Only she remains longest, until the body is lowered, wrapped, carried, until the stone rolls, until the garden tomb swallows the light. But here, beneath the cross, the moment lingers. The wood cools. The blood dries to rust. The wind shifts, carrying the scent of wet earth and crushed herbs. She stands in the ruin of the afternoon, soaked, trembling, yet unbroken. Her eyes hold the image, the body, the face, the final glance. She will carry it, not as memory alone, as commission. Feel the hill beneath you now. It is quiet. The storm has passed. Only a few ravens wheel overhead, black against returning gray. Her footprints are already fading in the mud, yet the ground remembers, the cross remembers, The blood remembers. Let your breath steady. Let the scene soften at the edges. You are not required to believe every detail, only to feel the weight of standing witness, of refusing to look away when the world demands it. She did. And in that standing, something was passed, hand to hand, heart to heart, shadow to shadow. The light fades. The first star dares to appear. She turns finally and walks down the hill, her steps slow, deliberate. The hem of her robe drags through the mud, leaving a dark trail. Behind her, the cross stands empty, a question mark against the sky. Let the silence wrap you. Let it be heavy with storm aftermath and unshed tears. Let it cradle you as you drift toward whatever waits beyond the hill. Mist clings to the garden tombs, dew beads on rosemary, and the first bird call fractures the silence like crystal. Let the coolness settle on your skin. Breathe in the scent of wet stone and crushed herbs. You are here before the sun has decided to rise, while the sky is still the color of pearl. The garden is quiet, yet not empty. Olive trees lean like old men in prayer. Cypress shadows stretch long fingers across the path. Somewhere, water trickles over rock, a hidden spring feeding the roots of myrtle and fig. Your footsteps make no sound on the soft earth. Grief has weight, but it walks lightly now. She comes alone, Mary of Magdala. Her sandals are caked with yesterday's mud. Her eyes are swollen, yet clear. She carries no lamp. The darkness knows her. In her hands, a bundle of spices, myrrh, aloes, cassia, wrapped in linen, the scent already rising like a faint prayer. She has come to finish what the Sabbath interrupted, to anoint what remains. Feel the chill of the stone as she approaches the tomb. It is hewn from living rock, the entrance low, sealed by a wheel of limestone taller than a man. But the stone is not where it should be. It lies aside, like a discarded coin. The mouth of the tomb gapes, blacker than the night she just left. Her breath catches, not fear, recognition. Step inside with her. The air is colder here, thick with the smell of earth and unguarded death. The ledge where the body lay is bare. Only the linen cloths remain, folded, as if someone had risen and tidied after themselves. A napkin lies separate, rolled in a corner. No chaos, no theft, only absence, and intention. She stands in the doorway, spices forgotten at her feet. Her shadow fills the small chamber. Then she turns, runs. Not in panic, but in urgency. Her robe catches on a thorn bush. She does not stop to free it. The garden blurs. The path winds. She finds Peter and the beloved disciple, hiding, whispering, faces pale as the linen they left behind. They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, she says, voice raw, and we do not know where they have laid him. The words hang in the air like incense. The men exchange a glance, then they run. Past her, past the garden gate, past the sleeping city. You follow at a distance, letting the dust settle. The beloved disciple arrives first. He stoops, peers in, sees the cloths, but does not enter. Peter barrels past, heavy, breathless. He goes inside, touches the linen, lifts the napkin. His hands shake. They leave together, heads bowed, minds racing. But she remains. She cannot leave. The tomb pulls her like a tide. Now the garden is truly hers. The men are gone. The birds have begun their morning chorus. She stands at the entrance again, weeping. Not the storm of Golgotha, but a quiet, steady rain. Her tears fall on the stone threshold, darkening it. She bends, looks inside once more, and sees two figures, white, seated where the body had been, one at the head, one at the feet. Their garments shimmer, not with light, but with presence. They are not men. They are not angels as paintings imagine them. They are stillness wearing form. They speak with voices like wind through wheat. Woman, why are you weeping? She answers through tears. They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him. The words are simple. The ache beneath them is vast. Let the moment stretch. Let the garden hold its breath. She turns, slowly, as if waking from deep water, and there he stands, in the mist, in the half-light. The gardener, she thinks. His face obscured by shadow and sorrow, his voice gentle, familiar, yet changed. Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking? She squints. Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him. Her offer is absurd, a woman alone, claiming a corpse. But love makes its own physics, then the single word, Mary, not a name, a recognition. The sound of it strikes her like the first note of a forgotten song. She knows. Rabboni, she whispers, teacher. Her hands reach out. The air between them trembles. Noli me tangere, he says. Do not cling to me. I have not yet ascended. Go. Tell my brothers. The command is soft yet absolute. She lowers her hands. The space between them is sacred now, untouchable, yet full. Feel the shift. The garden tilts. The mist lifts. Light begins to pool in the east, the color of pale honey. She does not run this time. She walks, her steps measured, her heart a drum no one else can hear. She carries the message in her body, the way a shell carries the ocean. In the Gospel of Mary, those fragile Coptic leaves, she will later speak of visions, of dialogues in the dark, of the soul's ascent through hostile powers. But here in the garden, there is only the commission. She is the first apostle, the apostle to the apostles, the one who saw, who touched the edge of the mystery and was told, not yet. Let the sun break fully now. Let it gild the olive leaves, the stone, the folded linen. Let it warm the spices still scattered on the ground. She is gone from the tomb. The angels are gone. The gardener is gone. Only the empty space remains, and the fragrance of what was spoken. Walk the path she took. Feel the dew soak your hem. Smell the crushed mint beneath your soles. The city stirs. A dog barks. A shutter creaks open, but the garden keeps its secret. The stone stays rolled aside. The linen stays folded. The message travels ahead of her, faster than feet. In later centuries, artists will paint her with halo, with jar, with tears. They will miss the moment when the world pivoted on a single word, when death was not defeated with trumpets, but with a name, when a woman was chosen, not for her purity, not for her sin, but for her seeing. Let the light grow stronger. Let the birds sing without restraint. Let the garden exhale. You are not required to solve the mystery, only to stand in it, to feel the cool stone, to hear the trickle of water, to carry, for a moment, the weight of being first to know. The path curves. The tomb fades behind you. Ahead, the city gates. Ahead, the upper room. Ahead, the rest of the story. But here, in the empty dawn, the veil is thin. The air is charged with what cannot be held. She walks on. You walk with her. The future begins in her quiet footsteps. Let the scene dissolve gently. Let the garden sink back into silence. Let the spices dry where they fell. Let the morning keep its secret and hers. Centuries later, in the dry sands of Egypt, a clay jar exhales the scent of forgotten papyrus. Let the heat settle on your shoulders, thick and golden. You are kneeling in the shadow of a cliff near Nag Hammadi, where the Nile bends like a sleeping serpent. The year is 1945, though time feels irrelevant here. A farmer's mattock strikes stone. A jar shatters. 13 codices spill out, bound in leather cracked by centuries. Breathe in the dust. It tastes of sun and silence. The pages are brittle, the ink faded to rust, yet the words stir. They have waited since the 2nd century, sealed against the orthodoxy that branded them heresy. Among them, a fragment, the Gospel of Mary. Only 17 pages survive, but they are enough to crack the sky. Feel the texture of the papyrus between invisible fingers. It is thin, almost translucent. Yet it carries weight. Mary Magdalene speaks here, not as witness, not as penitent, but as teacher. The disciples gather around her, Peter, Andrew, Levi. They are afraid. The vision she received in the garden is too vast, too strange. Peter's voice rises, edged with doubt. Did he really speak with a woman without our knowledge? Mary's reply is calm, like water over stone. What is hidden from you, I will proclaim to you. Let the scene shift. Let the desert dissolve into a candlelit room in 2nd century Rome. Irenaeus, Bishop of Lyons, sits at a wooden table. His quill scratches parchment. He is writing against heresies. Against heresies, he calls it. His ink is black, his tone iron. He lists the dangers, Valentinus, Marcion, the Cainites, and among them, those who elevate a woman above the 12. He does not name her, but the shadow falls across Mary. Listen to the silence that follows. It is not empty. It is deliberate. The church is forming its canon. 4 Gospels, no more. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. The rest are set aside. Some burned, some buried, some copied in secret by monks who trembled as they wrote. The Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Philip, the dialogue of the Savior, and Mary's. Her voice, once central, becomes peripheral. Feel the temperature drop. You're in a scriptorium now, high in the Alps. A monk bends over vellum, his breath fogging in the cold. He copies the approved texts. His hand hesitates over a line that mentions Mary Magdalene. He changes apostle to disciple. He changes teacher to witness. The quill scratches. The fire crackles. The snow falls outside, soft and relentless. Let the centuries compress. Let the ink dry. By the 4th century, the Nicene Creed is hammered out. The church is a fortress. Women preach in house churches, but not in basilicas. Mary Magdalene is recast. Pope Gregory the Great, in 591, merges her with the sinful woman of Luke 7 and Mary of Bethany. 3 become 1. The penitent prostitute is born. Her jar of ointment becomes a symbol of repentance, not anointing. Her voice is muffled beneath layers of sermon and stain. Walk the catacombs beneath Rome. Your torch gutters. The walls are cool, damp. Frescoes flicker, fish, bread, peacocks. And there, in a side chamber, a faint outline. A woman with a raised hand. Her name erased, but her gesture remains. She is teaching, or blessing, or warning. The paint has flaked, but the eyes still follow you. Feel the weight of the silence. It is not absence. It is suppression. The church needed unity. It needed Peter's rock. Mary's vision was fluid, interior, dangerous. She spoke of the soul's ascent through 7 powers: wrath, envy, lust. She spoke of a kingdom within. Such words could fracture empires, so they were buried. Not destroyed, buried. The desert kept them safe. Returned to Nag Hammadi. The codices are in Cairo now, under glass. Scholars lean close, breath fogging the cases. They translate. They argue. They marvel. In the Gospel of Mary, the Savior says, "There is no sin, but it is you who make sin when you do the things that are like the nature of adultery." Peter bristles. Levi defends her. If the Savior made her worthy, who are you to reject her? The text breaks off. The final pages are lost. But the question hangs. Let the wind rise. Let it carry sand across the cliff face. The farmer who found the jar is long dead. His name was Muhammad Ali. He feared the texts were jinn. He burned one page for luck. The rest survived. They traveled from hand to hand, from Cairo to Jung's library in Zurich, from scholar to scholar. Now they whisper in universities, in monasteries, in quiet rooms at midnight. Feel the texture of the silence now. It is softer. The Church has changed. In 1969, the Vatican separated Magdalene from the penitent. In 2016, she was named Apostola Apostolorum, Apostle to the Apostles. Her feast day elevated, her voice restored tentatively. Yet the buried texts still speak louder. They speak of a woman who knew the mind of the teacher, who saw beyond the resurrection to the dissolution of form. Walk the Nile at dusk. The water is black glass. Feluccas drift, sails furled. A muezzin calls from a minaret. The sound layers over older prayers. Mary's Gospel was written in Coptic, translated from Greek. It traveled the same trade routes as spices and silk. It was read by women in hidden gatherings, by men who questioned the bishops. It was dangerous. It was light. Let the stars emerge. Let Orion rise. The same stars she saw from the garden tomb. The same stars that watched the jar being sealed. The silence is not broken. It is shared. Her voice, though fragmented, threads through the night. It asks, what was so threatening about a woman's knowing? What was so fragile in the fortress that it needed her erasure? Feel the papyrus again. It is cool now in your mind's hand. The ink has bled slightly, but the words hold. Peace be with you. Acquire my peace within yourselves. She quotes him. She interprets him. She becomes him, in the way only love allows. Let the desert wind die. Let the cliff shadow lengthen. The jar is gone. The codices are safe, but the silence remains. It is the silence of libraries at closing, of catacombs after the last torch, of a woman's name spoken in the dark, then not spoken, then spoken again. You are not required to choose sides, only to listen. The approved Gospels give structure. The buried ones give depth. Together, they form a chord. Mary stands in the space between. Her voice, though faint, is steady. Let the night deepen. Let the Nile reflect the moon. Let the buried words rise like mist. They do not demand belief. They demand witness, just as she once witnessed, just as she taught others to witness. The silence is not the end. It is the womb. From it, new questions are born. Salt spray stings your cheeks as the small boat creaks toward a moonlit shore of wild horses and tamarisk. Let the Mediterranean cradle you. The night is vast, indigo above, black glass below. The oars dip in slow rhythm, each stroke a heartbeat. You are far from Judea now, farther from Rome, farther still from the silence that swallowed her name. She sits in the stern, knees drawn to chest, cloak drawn tight against the wind. Mary of Magdala. Her hair is salted stiff, her eyes fixed on the dark horizon. Beside her, a cedar box no larger than a child's coffin, sealed, silent, heavier than wood should allow. Others share the boat. Sarah, the Egyptian, Martha, Lazarus, Maximin. Legends will name them saints. Tonight they are only refugees. Feel the boat rise and fall. The swell is gentle, yet each wave carries the echo of pursuit. Roman galleys patrol the coast, but the night hides them. The stars are their map, Pleiades low, Orion's belt a silver buckle. The helmsman steers by feel, by prayer, by the faint scent of land that drifts on the wind. Rosemary, pine, wet stone. Listen to the creak of timbers, the slap of water against the hull, the low murmur of Aramaic prayers. They fled under cover of darkness, pushed off from a cove near Caesarea. Joseph of Arimathea's ship, some say. A grain vessel, others claim. The story shifts with each telling, yet the salt remains the same. They carry no cargo but memory and the box. Let the wind shift. It brings the first hint of gall, wild thyme, horse dung, the faint sweetness of marsh reeds. The shore resolves, a crescent of silver sand, dunes crowned with tamarisk, the dark line of the Camargue marshes beyond. Wild horses stand knee-deep in water, manes glowing like moonlit foam. They do not startle as the boat grinds ashore. They have seen exiles before. She steps onto the sand first. Her feet sink. The grains are cool, almost cold after the sea's chill. She kneels, presses her palms to the earth. A gesture of arrival, of claiming, of release. Behind her, the others unload the box, the bundles of spices, the single oil lamp that has burned since Egypt, the flame gutters, then steadies. Feel the hush of the shore. The only sound is the soft suck of waves retreating. The air is thick with salt and silence. No Roman centurion waits, no temple priest. Only the horses, the reeds, the vast sky. She stands. Her shadow stretches long across the sand, merging with the shadows of the others. They form a small constellation on the edge of the world. Walk with them inland. The path is faint, trodden by ibis and gypsy caravans. The ground rises to low hills cloaked in pine. The scent of resin is sharp, almost medicinal. They camp beneath a stand of umbrella pines, the needles soft underfoot. A fire is kindled, driftwood, rosemary branches. The flames are low, blue at the heart. She sits apart, the cedar box at her side. Listen to the crackle, the pop of pine cones, the distant cry of a night heron. Sarah brews a tea of local herbs, mint, verbena, something bitter. It is passed hand to hand. The steam rises, carrying the scent of exile and beginning. They speak little. What needs saying has already been said in glances, in the press of hands on the boat. The box remains closed. Let the night deepen. Let the fire settle into embers. The horses move closer, curious. Their breath warm clouds. One nuzzles her shoulder. She strokes its neck, fingers tracing the salt-crusted mane. In the morning, the locals will come, fishermen, salt harvesters, descendants of Phoenicians. They will offer bread, goat cheese, a place by the hearth. They will listen to the strangers' tales and weave them into their own. But tonight, the shore is theirs. She opens the box, not fully, only enough to let the scent escape. Myrrh, aloes, a trace of nard. The fragrance drifts across the sand, mingling with wood smoke. She lifts something wrapped in linen, small, fragile, pulsing with memory. A lock of hair, a fragment of linen, a seed. The stories will disagree. The scent will agree on everything. Feel the temperature drop. The fire is ash now. The stars wheel. She sleeps sitting, back against the box, cloak pulled over her knees. Her dreams are of lake shore and garden tomb, of a voice saying her name. The others sleep in a circle, the lamp between them like a small sun. The horses stand guard, ears flicking at unseen spirits. Dawn comes pale and slow. The sky is the color of abalone shell. The sea is flat, reflecting the light like polished metal. She wakes first, walks to the water's edge. The tide has erased their footprints. She kneels again, lets the wavelets wash her feet. The water is cold, clear. She cups it in her palms, drinks. The salt is different here, cleaner, wilder. The others stir. The fire is rekindled. Bread is broken. The box is closed, buried beneath a tamarisk for later retrieval. They will scatter, some to Marseille, some to the mountains, some to stay. She will walk north, following the Rhone, until the land rises into limestone cliffs. But here, on this shore, the seed is planted. The Black Madonna will rise from this soil, dark as the Egyptian Sarah, eyes older than cathedrals. Walk the shore at sunrise. The sand is firm, cool. Seagulls wheel overhead, crying like lost children. The horses gallop along the water's edge, manes flying. She watches them, a faint smile touching her lips. Freedom tastes of salt and pine. The box is hidden, but its contents travel in her blood, in her breath, in the stories she will tell by firelight. Let the sun climb. Let the light gild the waves. The boat is pulled higher, hidden in reeds. The exiles become pilgrims. The shore becomes sanctuary. Les Saintes Maries de la Mer, the place will be called. 3 Marys, 2 saints, 1 servant. The gypsies will come each May, candles in hand, guitars and tambourines. They will dance in the surf, honoring the dark women who arrived by sea. Feel the sand warm beneath your feet. The day begins. Fishermen cast nets. Children chase crabs. The horses drink from the marsh. She stands at the edge, cloak fluttering like a banner. Her shadow is long again, reaching toward the inland hills. The box is safe. The secret is safe. The future is safe in her hands. Let the scene fade gently. Let the gulls' cries soften. Let the waves keep their rhythm. The shore remembers. The horses remember. The tamarisk remembers. And somewhere, beneath the roots, the cedar box waits. Patient as stone, fragrant as prayer. Cool darkness folds around you. Water drips in slow centuries. Each drop a syllable of an unspoken psalm. Let the mountain receive you. The path climbs steeply through holm oak and boxwood, the air thick with resin and wet stone. Your breath steadies to the rhythm of ascent. Above, the limestone cliff rises pale against a sky the color of tarnished silver. Below, the Provençal plain shimmers in heat haze, a distant memory of the world. She is already here, Mary of Magdala. 30 years in this grotto, they say. 30 years of silence and stone. You reach the entrance, a low arch framed by ferns and maidenhair. The air changes, cooler, older. The scent is of moss and candle smoke, of centuries of pilgrims' tears. Step inside. Let your eyes adjust to the half-light. The cave breathes. Its walls weep mineral tears that harden into stalactites like frozen prayers. Water gathers in shallow basins, clear as glass, reflecting the vault above. Your footsteps echo, then are swallowed. The floor is uneven, worn smooth by knees and bare feet. Somewhere deeper a spring murmurs, a subterranean heartbeat. She lived here, not in comfort. A reed mat, a clay lamp fed with olive oil, a wooden bowl for the spring water. Her robe patched and repatched until it became the color of the rock itself. Feel the chill on your skin. The cave holds the night even at noon. She welcomed it. The darkness was womb, not tomb. Walk deeper. The passage narrows, then opens into the main chamber. An altar of living stone rises at the center, draped in faded brocade. Candles gutter in iron sconces, beeswax, thick with the scent of honey and smoke. Above the altar a niche holds her relic, a fragment of skull, ivory pale, cradled in silver filigree. The Dominicans have guarded it since the 13th century. They sing vespers here, their voices rising and falling like the drip of water. Sit on the stone bench worn hollow by centuries of pilgrims. Feel its cool curve against your spine. Close your eyes. Let the cave speak. She came here after the shore, after the preaching in Marseille, after the years of wandering the Rhone Valley. The mountain called her, or she called the mountain. The stories blur. She climbed with the help of angels, some say. Lifted bodily each dawn to the peak, then lowered at dusk. Others say she walked, staff in hand, hair turned white by sun and sorrow. Listen to the water. Each drop strikes the pool with a note pure as a bell. Drip, pause, drip. The sound is older than language. She listened to it for 30 years. In it, she heard the lake of Galilee, the garden spring, the blood dripping at Golgotha. All water is one water. All silence is one silence. Feel the texture of the walls. Run your fingers over the limestone, smooth in places, rough with crystal veins. Pilgrims have carved their names, their prayers, their crosses. Maria, 1392. A heart pierced by 7 swords. Her name is not carved. She needed no mark. The cave itself became her inscription. Imagine her days. Dawn, the first pale light filtering through the entrance, painting the stalactites rose and gold. She rises from her mat, joints stiff, breath visible in the chill. She drinks from the spring. 3 sips, no more. She prays, not with words, but with breath. In, out. The cave answers. Midday. The sun strikes the cliff face outside, but inside, only a faint brightening. She gathers herbs, thyme, rosemary, sage, growing in crevices where the light dares. She chews a leaf, tastes the sun stored within. She sings softly, a melody from Magdala, from the upper room, from the boat. The notes bounce off the walls, return to her transformed. Dusk. The cave darkens early. She lights her lamp. The flame is small, yet it fills the space with gold. She eats, a crust of bread, a fig, a sip of water. She sits, she waits. Visions come, or do not come. Either way, she is held. Night. The lamp burns low. The drip continues. She sleeps, sitting back against the wall, cloak pulled tight. Her dreams are of light, light within light, light that has no source. She wakes often, prays again. The cycle turns. Let the centuries layer. The cave remembers. In the 5th century, Cassian finds her relics already venerated. In the 9th, the skull is enclosed in gold. In the 13th, Dominicans build a hostel below, their chants rising through the stone. In the 19th, pilgrims come by train, by carriage, on foot. They leave roses, now dried and papery, tucked into cracks. They leave tears, absorbed into the rock. Feel the relic's presence. It is not macabre. It is intimate. The skull fragment is small, no larger than a child's fist. The bone is thin, translucent in places. It rests on velvet the color of dried blood. Pilgrims kiss the glass. Some weep. Some stand in silence. The cave holds them all. Walk to the spring. It emerges from a fissure, cold as winter. Cup your hands. Drink. The water is mineral sharp, alive. Legend says it cures blindness, barrenness, despair. It cures nothing. It reminds. She drank here. Her lips touched this stone. Her breath mingled with the vapor. Deeper still, a narrow passage leads to a smaller chamber. The air is thicker here, scented with earth and age. A natural ledge serves as a bed. Her bed. The stone is hollowed slightly, as if the rock itself softened to receive her. Lie down, if you dare. Feel the curve fit your spine. Feel the weight of the mountain above. Feel the hush that is not absence, but presence. Outside, the wind moves through the oaks. Inside, only the drip. She fasted often, not for penance, for clarity. Her body became light, almost translucent. Angels fed her, the stories claim. The host placed on her tongue by unseen hands. Or perhaps the cave itself nourished her. Mineral breath, water song, stone silence. Let the darkness deepen. Let the candles burn lower. The Dominicans have gone. The pilgrims sleep in the hostel below. The cave is yours and hers. Sit in the center. Let the drip count your heartbeats. She is here. not as relic, as resonance. Her 30 years pressed into the rock like a fern in coal. Feel the temperature steady. It is always the same. Cool, constant, womb-like. She chose this. Not escape. Immersion. The world above forgot her, or tried to. The cave remembered. The water remembered. The stone remembered. Stand at the entrance again. The night sky is a bowl of stars. The plain below is dark, save for the faint glow of Aix, of Marseille. She saw the same stars, only brighter, unpolluted by city light. She knew their names in Aramaic, in Greek, in the language of the heart. She watched them wheel for 30 years. They watched her fade. Her death was quiet. No thunder, no angels visible to all. Only the drip, the breath, the final exhale. Her body laid in the cave, then moved again. The skull remains. The rest is earth. The cave keeps the secret. Let the night wine touch your face. It is cool, scented with pine and distant sea. The path down is steep, but you are not ready to leave. Sit once more. Let the drip continue. Let the silence teach. She came here to finish what began at the tomb, to carry the seed to its deepest soil, to let the mountain hold what the world could not. The candles are out. The relic sleeps in its silver cradle. The spring sings its endless note. You are held. You are remembered. You are not alone. Let the cave exhale. Let it carry you gently toward whatever waits beyond the stone. Mist curls above the Loire at dawn. Somewhere, a bell tolls across vineyards, heavy with unspoken lineage. Let the river carry you. The water is pewter, slow-moving, reflecting a sky the color of wet ash. You drift in a flat-bottomed boat, the oarsman silent, his breath visible in the chill. Willows trail green fingers. Herons stand one-legged in the shallows. The air smells of damp earth and distant wood smoke. She is long gone from the cave now, yet her echo travels. Mary of Magdala. Her seed, carried across sea and mountain, has taken root in blood. The boat glides past crumbling Roman bridges, past meadows where cattle wear bells like quiet monks. Ahead, the forest of Brocéliande darkens the horizon, ancient, secretive, older than any crown. Feel the mist settle on your cloak. It beads, then drips, cold as baptismal water. You are in the 5th century, though the centuries blur here. The Roman eagle has fallen. Gaul is a patchwork of tribes and half-remembered roads. In the north, a new dynasty rises. The Merovingians, long-haired kings who claim descent from the sea itself. Their banners are red, their blades Frankish iron, their blood, whisper the hidden chronicles, touched by something older. Let the boat ground gently on a gravel bar. Step ashore. The earth is soft, black with leaf mold. A path winds through oak and hazel. Follow it. The light filters green through the canopy, dappling the ground like stained glass. Somewhere, a stag bells, deep, resonant, lonely. The Merovingians hunted here, Clovis, Childeric, Merovec, the sea-born. Their names are carved on runestones sung by bards, whispered by monks who fear the truth. Pause at a clearing. A stone chapel crouches beneath the trees, its walls moss-covered, its door ajar. Inside, a single candle burns before a rough-carved Madonna, dark wood, darker eyes. She holds no child, only a chalice. The flame trembles, throwing shadows that dance like memories. Kneel. Feel the stone floor cold through your knees. This is no ordinary chapel. This is a hinge. The legend begins with a kinotaur, a sea bull, half myth, half memory. Merovec's mother, bathing in the Rhine, is visited by a creature from the deep. From that union, a lineage. Long hair, never cut, a mark of divine favor. The kings wear it like a crown. But deeper, in documents that will surface centuries later, Forged, say the scholars. Resonant, say the dreamers. The sea bull is metaphor. The true ocean is warmer. It is the womb of a Galilean woman. Let the candlelight steady. Let the shadows settle. The Prieuré de Sion documents, those yellowed pages planted in the Bibliothèque Nationale, claim a marriage at Cana, a child born in secret, a bloodline carried to Gaul by Magdalene herself, debunked, discredited. Yet the whisper persists. Plantard's forgery or ancient truth? Tonight it does not matter. Only the resonance. Walk the forest again. The path narrows. Roots twist like sleeping serpents. You reach a dolmen. 3 standing stones capped by a 4th, older than the chapel, older than the king's. Moss grows thick on the capstone. Beneath it, a hollow. Once, a child was hidden here. Once, a chalice. Once, a lock of dark hair wrapped in silk. The earth keeps its counsel. Feel the weight of the air. It is thick with pollen and silence. The Merovingians ruled from soot-blackened halls, their thrones carved with boars and serpents. They baptized in rivers, not fonts. They married sisters of enemy kings to bind the land. Their blood was sacred. Salic law forbade cutting the royal hair. To touch it was death. Yet in 754, Pepin the Short, anointed by the church, shaved Dagobert II, locked him in a monastery, claimed the throne. The long-haired line was broken. Or was it? Listen to the wind in the leaves. It sounds like distant chanting. Monks in scriptoria copy Gregory of Tours, careful to omit the whispers. The church needs legitimacy. It crowns Pepin. It crowns Charlemagne. But the old blood flows underground, through vineyards and crypts, through marriages arranged in candlelit chapels. The desposini, the kin of the Lord, scatter across Europe, some to Rennes-le-Château, some to the Pyrenees, some to this very forest. Stand at the dolmen's heart, place your palm on the cool stone, feel the pulse, slow, ancient, patient. Dagobert II, the last true Merovingian, was murdered in 679, while hunting stag. His son, Sigisbert, escaped with the treasure, or so the story goes. The treasure was not gold. It was knowledge, a parchment, a genealogy, a drop of blood dried on linen. Let the light shift. The sun climbs, burning off the mist. The forest brightens to emerald and gold. You are in the Loire again, centuries later. Chateaux rise on every hill, Amboise, Chenonceau, Chambord. Their stones are pale, their gardens manicured. But beneath them, tunnels. Beneath them, chapels with black Madonnas. Beneath them, the whisper. The Prieuré documents name grand masters. Leonardo, Newton, Hugo. Fiction, say the historians. Yet the resonance hums. The Merovingians intermarried with Visigoths, with Burgundians, with the blood of Septimania. Their descendants wear quieter crowns, bankers, abbots, vineyard owners. They meet in forest chapels. They toast with wine the color of garnets. They speak of the sangreal, not a cup, but a lineage. Feel the boat rock gently. You are drifting again. The river reflects the sky reflects the river. A kingfisher flashes blue, then vanishes. The long-haired kings are dust, yet their echo lingers in the curve of the Loire, in the curl of grapevines, in the hush of ancient forests. Madeleine's seed took root here, not in thrones, but in memory. In the way a woman's name is spoken softly, reverently, by those who know. Let the mist return. Let it swallow the chateau, the vineyards, the dolmen. Let it carry you back to the boat. The oarsman dips his blades. The current takes you. The bell tolls again. Once, twice, then silence. The lineage is not proven. It is felt. In the weight of a chalice passed hand to hand. In the hush before a black Madonna's smile. in the blood that remembers what the mind forgets. The river widens. The forest recedes. You are alone with the water and the sky. The whisper follows, not loud, not urgent, only persistent, like the drip in the Sainte-Baume, like the salt on the Camargue shore, like the name spoken in the garden tomb. Let the boat glide. Let the mist thicken. Let the lineage sleep beneath the vines, patient as stone, fragrant as prayer. Stained glass breathes crimson and cobalt across flagstones worn smooth by 1,000 pilgrim knees. Let the hush of Chartres envelop you. The air is cool, scented with old stone and beeswax, the faint metallic tang of incense long burned. You stand in the north transept, where the light falls in slow rivers of color, ruby, sapphire, emerald, pooling on the labyrinth like liquid scripture. Breathe once. Breathe again. The cathedral is not empty. It is full of silence. She is here, not in flesh, but in code. Mary of Magdala. Her presence woven into rose windows and crypts, into black madonnas and hidden glyphs. Walk slowly. Let your footsteps echo, then fade. The pillars rise like ancient trees, their capitals carved with green men and grapevines, pagan memory dressed in Christian stone. Above, the vault soars into shadow. Ribbed like the inside of a whale, pause at the west rose. Its petals unfold in glass and lead, 12 outer circles, a center that is both sun and womb. The light shifts as clouds pass. The colors move across your skin like living things. Scholars call it the Wheel of Fortune. Others see the zodiac, whisper the secret. It is also her. The rose is Magdalene, unfolding, fragrant, red as nard, dark as myrrh. Her jar is hidden in the geometry, her tears in the blue. Feel the temperature drop. You descend the narrow stair to the crypt. The air grows damp, earthy. Your torch, or imagine one, flickers against walls blackened by centuries of candle smoke. Here, beneath the cathedral, is the older sanctuary. A well. A druid spring, some say. Christianized, yet still humming with pre-Roman memory. The water is black, still. Drop a pebble. Listen to the plink echo into forever. She prayed here, not in the cave alone. Her devotees carried her south to north, east to west. The crypt's Black Madonna, Notre Dame sous terre, sits in a side chapel, wood darkened by time and touch. Her face is serene, Egyptian almost, eyes half closed in knowing. She holds a child, yet her gaze is on you. Pilgrims leave roses, now dried to parchment. They leave locks of hair. They leave silence. Walk the labyrinth now. The canvas is rolled out on feast days. Today it is stone, inlaid in the nave floor. 11 circuits, a womb journey. Begin at the edge. Step, pause, step. The path winds inward, then out, then in again. Like breath, like blood, like the spiral of a shell. Others walk with you, though you see no one. Their footsteps are memory. Knights before crusade, queens in mourning, children chasing grace. Halfway in, pause. The light from the south rose catches you, green and gold, the color of olive groves by the Sea of Galilee. Feel the stone warm beneath your soles. The labyrinth is not a maze. There is only one path. Surrender is the key. She walked a greater labyrinth, from Magdala to Golgotha, from tomb to boat, from cave to crypt. Her journey is etched here, in every turn. Reach the center. 6 petals surround a hollow. Once, a copper plate, now, only stone. Stand. Let the cathedral's breath hold you. Above, the choir sings, vespers perhaps, or compline. The notes drift down, Latin syllables soft as moth wings, Sancta Maria, Mater Dei. But beneath the approved names, another, Maria Magdalena, Apostola, Grailis Tragerin. Feel the vibration in the floor. It is not the singers. It is the building itself, stone singing to stone. Chartres was built on a telluric current, ley lines crossing like veins. The masons knew. They placed the Black Madonna at the node. They aligned the rose with solstice light. They carved her symbols where only the initiated would see. The almond Vesica Piscis, the five-petaled rose, the vine heavy with grapes. Walk the crypt again. Find the pillar called Notre Dame du Pilier. The Madonna here is lighter wood, but no less potent. Her robe is blue, starred. Her child reaches out, not in blessing, but in recognition. Pilgrims tie silk ribbons, blue, white, red, around the base. They knot their prayers. They leave them to fade. She gathers them, thread by thread, into her silence. Ascend to the south transept. The window here is the Magdalene window, though few notice. She stands with jar, hair unbound, eyes lifted to a risen figure barely visible in the glare. The glass is 13th century, yet the image is older. Her robe is red, blood, passion, the rose. Her jar is gold, nard, sun, the chalice. The light pours through her, fracturing into 1,000 shards of story. Sit in a side chapel. The wood is dark, polished by centuries of hands. A single candle burns. Its flame is steady, small, eternal. Close your eyes. Let the cathedral's heartbeat sync with yours. Stone remembers. Glass remembers. Light remembers. She is in the rose, in the labyrinth, in the Black Madonna's lap. Her veneration was never erased, only encoded. Let the light shift again. The sun lowers. The colors deepen to amber and blood. The labyrinth glows like a coal. Walk it backward now, outward, releasing. Each step a letting go. The masons built Chartres in a single lifetime, miraculous, they say, or guided, by her, by the feminine divine that refused to be buried. Reach the edge. The canvas, or the stone, ends. Stand beneath the great west doors. The tympanum shows Christ in majesty, but look closer. At his feet, a woman with jar. Not named, not needed. The gesture is enough. She anoints the world. Feel the cool evening air as the doors open. Outside, the town is quiet. Swallows dart between the towers. The labyrinth is covered now, the roses dim. But the cathedral keeps it secret. It sings it in glass, in stone, in silence. When the tourists leave, when the guides lock the doors, the song rises, soft, persistent, ancient. Walk the cloister in your mind. The grass is clipped, the arches Romanesque. A fountain plays, its water catching the last light. Sit on the stone rim. Let the droplets cool your fingers. The cathedral is a vessel, not of gold, but of light. She fills it. Her jar never empties. Let the night gather. Let the candles be snuffed, one by one. Let the Black Madonna smile in the dark. Let the labyrinth wait beneath its cover, patient as womb. The cathedral sleeps, but does not forget. Its shadows are full of her. Let the silence deepen. Let it cradle you. Let it carry you toward whatever stone waits next. Wind howls through the ruined walls of Montségur. Snow dusts the pyre stones where faith was reduced to ash. Let the cold bite your cheeks. You stand on the Pog, sharp, wind-scoured, rising like a ship's prow above the Languedoc. Below, the valley is white and silent, folded in winter. The fortress clings to the cliff, its stones blackened, its windows empty eyes. Breathe in the thin air. It tastes of snow and iron, of pine resin and distant smoke. She is here again, not in body, but in memory carried forward. Mary of Magdala. Her teaching, whispered, hidden, flowering in the dualist faith of the Cathars. They called themselves the Pure Ones, parfaits and parfait, clad in black, fasting, preaching a gospel of light trapped in matter. Their Magdalene was Sophia, fallen wisdom, bride of the divine. Walk the broken ramparts. Let the wind tear at your cloak. Feel the crunch of frost beneath your boots. The path to the summit is steep, zigzagging through scrub oak and boxwood. Your breath clouds, then vanishes. At the crest, the castle opens. Low walls, a keep half collapsed, a chapel reduced to foundation stones. Here, on March 16, 1244, 225 Cathars walked into the flames rather than recant. Their pyre was built in the field below. Prat Dells, Cremats, meadow of the burned. The snow remembers. Step into the keep. The floor is littered with shards of pottery, a rusted nail, a child's bone button. The wind funnels through the arrow slits, moaning like a choir of the dead. The Cathars believed the world was the devil's creation. The body, a prison. The soul, a spark of divine light. Salvation came through the consolamentum, a laying on of hands, a kiss of peace, a release from flesh. Women administered it. Women preached it. Women burned for it. Imagine the night before the surrender. The fortress is crowded, refugees, believers, a few knights who chose faith over sword. 4 parfaits slip away under cover of darkness, carrying the treasure, not gold, not jewels, a parchment, a book, a lock of hair, a drop of blood on linen. They descend the sheer cliff on ropes, vanish into the forests of the Ariège. The treasure is safe. The silence begins. Feel the temperature plummet. The snow falls thicker now, erasing footprints. You are in the chapel ruins. The altar stone is cracked, yet intact. Cathars did not need altars. They needed only the Gospel of John, the Lord's Prayer in the old tongue, the kiss on the cheek. Their Magdalene was the woman at the tomb, the teacher of hidden things. She was the spark that fled the prison of flesh. Her jar held not oil but gnosis, walked the perimeter. The wind carries voices, Occitan fragments, a woman's laugh, a child's cry cut short. The Cathars called their faith the Church of Love, Amor. Rome called it heresy. The Albigensian Crusade began in 1209, 20 years of siege and slaughter. Béziers fell first. Kill them all, God will know his own. The phrase echoes in the stones, Carcassonne, Minerve, Caribous, and finally, Montségur. Sit on a fallen merlon. The stone is ice beneath you. Close your eyes, see the pyre field. The stakes are driven deep. The parfaits climb the ladders willingly, robes fluttering like black wings. They sing, not in fear, in release. The flames rise, orange against the snow. The smell is of pine and flesh, of wool and faith. The crowd below, crusaders, villagers, inquisitors, stand silent. Even hatred tires. Let the snow settle on your lashes. The Cathars believed in reincarnation. The soul returns until purified. Some say the parfaits who burned here were reborn in the forests, in the vineyards, in the quiet houses of the Languedoc. Their treasure, whatever it was hidden in caves, in wells, in the hearts of the credantes who survived. The Inquisition hunted for a century. Torture, confiscation. The silence grew thicker. Walk down the path now. The snow muffles your steps. Below, the village of Montségur huddles, red-tiled roofs, a single church spire. The Cathars had no churches. They met in fields, in barns, in the open air. Their women wore the black robe after consolamentum, preached beside men, fasted 3 days a week. Esclarmonde of Foix, great lady, parfaite, received the sacrament on the pog itself. Her name means light of the world. She burned with the rest. Feel the wind ease. The snow stops. The valley is a bowl of white. Somewhere, a raven calls. The treasure was never found. Or was it? In 1945, a German officer searched these ruins for the Grail. He found only snow. The real Grail was already gone, carried by the four who escaped, hidden in the Sabarthis, in the caves of Lombrives, in the blood of the paysans who kept the old ways. Stand at the edge of the Pog. The drop is sheer, dizzying. The Cathars believed the body was a garment to be discarded, the soul, a bride awaiting reunion. Magdalene was their model, the woman who saw beyond flesh, who carried the light from tomb to cave to mountain. Her dualism was not theirs. Yet they recognized her. She was the spark. They were the flame. Let the silence deepen. It is not absence. It is presence. The stones are warm beneath the snow, warm with the memory of fire. The wind carries ash that is not ash. The valley holds its breath. The Cathars are gone, yet not gone. Their songs are in the Mistral, in the olive groves, in the black Madonnas of the Languedoc. Walk the pyre field in your mind. The snow is untouched. Beneath it, the earth is black. Kneel. Press your palm to the ground. Feel the heat. Faint. Ancient. Patient. The parfaits did not die. They transformed. Their light scattered like seed. Some say it fell in the forests of Lombardy, in the valleys of Piedmont. Some say it sleeps beneath Montségur, waiting for spring. Let the snow begin again. Let it cover your tracks. Let it cover the ruins, the pyre, the path. The silence is complete. It is the silence of the cave, of the crypt, of the rose window at midnight. It is her silence, carried from Magdala to Gaul to the mountain flames. It asks nothing. It offers everything. The wind dies. The valley exhales. You are alone with the snow and the stones. The treasure is safe. The faith is safe. The woman is safe. Let the scene fade. Let the snow keep falling. Let the silence carry you toward whatever ash waits next. Candlelight trembles across the master's studio. Pigment dust floats like golden pollen in the air. Let the scent of linseed and walnut oil settle in your lungs. You are in Milan or Florence or Amboise. The year is fluid, the room eternal. The walls are crowded with half-finished canvases, anatomical sketches, gears of impossible machines. A single window, high and narrow, admits a shaft of late afternoon light that strikes a mirror propped on an easel. Breathe slowly. Let the dust dance. He is here. Leonardo, son of Ser Piero, stroking his beard, eyes the color of river ice. His fingers are stained with lapis and verdigris. On the table before him, a panel of poplar wood, primed and smooth. He lifts a fine brush, squirrel hair, bound with quill. The first stroke is almost nothing, a whisper of umber, the beginning of a face. She emerges slowly, not as the Gospels paint her, not as the Church demands. Mary of Magdala, reimagined. Leonardo knew the buried texts, the fragments that traveled from Alexandria to the Medici libraries. He read the Gospel of Mary in Greek, copied by a trembling monk. He knew her as the one who understood the mirror of the soul. Watch him work. Each layer of glaze is a veil lifted. Feel the warmth of the brazier. It glows in the corner, coals pulsing like a slow heart. The studio is quiet save for the scratch of brush, the creak of floorboards, the distant bells of vespers. Leonardo hums, low, tuneless, ancient. The melody is from the Arno, or the Nile, or the Jordan. He paints her eyes first, not brown, not blue, but the color of deep water at twilight. They look past you, through you, into the mirror behind. Step closer. The canvas is small, virgin of the rocks they will call it. But look again. The figure on the right, kneeling, hand raised in blessing or warning. John the Baptist, say the catalogs. Yet the face is softer, the neck longer, the gesture almost maternal. Leonardo blurs the line. John or Mary? The ambiguity is deliberate. The church will not notice. The mirror will. Let the light shift. The sun lowers. The shaft of gold becomes amber, then blood. Leonardo steps back. He tilts the mirror. The reflection catches the painted face, doubles it, inverts it. He smiles. Small, private. In the glass, Magdalene looks back at him, eyes older than the wood. He adjusts the angle. Now she gazes at the Christ child. Now at the angel Uriel. Now at nothing. The mirror is her tool. Reflection is her gospel. Walk the studio in your mind. Shelves groan with books, Plato, Vitruvius, a forbidden Arabic treatise on light. A cat sleeps on a stack of drawings, wings, screws, a woman's hand holding a jar. On the wall, a sketch pinned with a dagger. Mona Lisa's landscape, but the river is the Jordan. The bridge is Roman. The smile is hers. Leonardo paints in layers, sfumato, smoke without edges. Her secrets dissolve into shadow, emerge in light. Feel the texture of the panel. Poplar, fine-grained, sanded until it drinks the paint. He layers glazes, 30, 40, each thinner than breath. The skin glows from within. The robe is crimson lake over verdigris, shifting from blood to moss with every tilt. Her hair is a river of burnt sienna and gold leaf, each strand a filament of memory. The jar, small, almost hidden, is rock crystal, catching the candlelight like a star. Listen to the silence between strokes. Leonardo speaks to no one, yet the room is full of conversation. The mirror answers. The cat's tail twitches. The coals settle. He paints her hand, not clutching, not pleading, but open. The palm is scarred faintly, nail print, or stigmata of witness. The church will see John's blessing. He sees her touch at the tomb. Noli me tangere, but reversed. She touches the world. Let the night gather. The candle gutters, then steadies. Leonardo works by its lone flame, eyes strained yet luminous. He adds a final glaze to the lips, carmine over lead white. The smile is not Gioconda's alone. It is Magdalene's, knowing, patient, eternal. The mirror reflects it back, doubles it, sends it into the shadows where the apprentices sleep. Walk to the window. The Arno glints below, black silk under torchlight. Or the Seine, or the Loire. Leonardo traveled with his mirrors, his panels, his secrets. In Amboise, he will die with the Mona Lisa at his bedside, her smile the last thing he sees. But here, in the studio, Magdalene is alive. She steps from the canvas into the glass, from the glass into the air. Feel the air thicken. It is heavy with turpentine and revelation. Leonardo cleans his brush on a rag. Once white, now a map of every color. He covers the panel with linen. Tomorrow, the patron will come. Tomorrow, the ambiguity will be explained away. Tonight, the mirror holds the truth. He stands before it. His reflection merges with hers. Master and apostle. Painter and painted. The boundary dissolves. Let the candle burn lower. The shadows lengthen. Swallow the gears, the cat, the books. Only the mirror remains bright. In it. Magdalene's eyes follow you. They have seen the tomb, the boat, the cave, the pyre. They have seen the bloodlines scatter like seed. They have seen the cathedrals rise and encode her in glass and stone. They see you now. They ask nothing. They offer everything. Leonardo extinguishes the flame. Darkness falls, yet the mirror glows faintly. Phosphorescence of paint, or something older. He sleeps on a pallet, the panel beside him like a child. The cat curls against the frame. The smile lingers in the dark, patient as moonrise. Let the studio dissolve. Let the dust settle. Let the mirror keep its secret. The painting will travel, Louvre, National Gallery, the King's Closet. The smile will puzzle 5 centuries. But here, In the candle's last breath, Magdalene is whole. Her jar is full. Her reflection is infinite. The night deepens. The river flows. The mirror waits. Yellowed documents rustle beneath a librarian's hesitant fingers. Ink smells of attics and midnight oil. Let the Bibliothèque Nationale swallow you. The reading room is vast, hushed, lit by green-shaded lamps that pool gold on mahogany tables. Your breath is the loudest sound. Outside, Paris rain taps the high windows like impatient code. Inside, the air is dry, papery, thick with the ghosts of footnotes. Breathe once. Let the dust settle in your throat. The dossier lies open. Dossier secrets, they are called. A manila folder, edges frayed, tied with faded ribbon. Inside, parchment scraps, typed pages, a photograph of a church no one visits. The librarian wears white gloves. Her eyes flick to the clock. Closing time nears. Yet the papers hold you. They smell of mildew and conspiracy, of candle smoke and printer's ink. They are forgeries, the scholars say. They are echoes, the dreamers answer. Feel the texture of the first page. Heavy cotton rag, watermarked with a fleur-de-lis. The ink is iron gall, brown to rust. A genealogy, names in spidery script. Godefroy de Bouillon, Hugues de Payan, Jean de Gisors, Grand Masters of the Priory of Sion. At the root, Dagobert II, the last Merovingian, and before him a single line, Fils de la Magdalene, son of the Magdalene. The words are underlined twice, as if the scribe feared they would vanish. Turn the page. A map, Rennes-le-Château, circled in red. A church floor plan, the altar marked with an X. A photograph, Abbé Saunière, smug in cassock, standing before a fresco of Magdalene with jar. His eyes follow you, even in sepia. The caption is typed, Il a trouvé. He found it. Found what? The question hangs like incense. Let the rain intensify. It drums the glass, a Morse code no one deciphers. The librarian clears her throat. You ignore her. Another document. A parchment fragment, Latin, 13th century. It speaks of a treasure spirited from Montségur, not gold. Sanctum sanguinum, holy blood. The ink has bled. The words swim. Beside it, a modern note in ballpoint. Plantard, 1962. The forger's signature, or the revealer's? Walk the stacks in your mind. The shelves rise like cathedral aisles bound in calf and buckram. Somewhere, a book falls open. Holy Blood, Holy Grail, 3 authors chasing footnotes into the night. They found the dossiers in 1975, planted by Pierre Plantard, a dreamer with a printing press. Debunked, discredited. Yet the resonance hums. The papers are lies, but lies that remember truth. Feel the weight of the folder. It is heavier than paper should be. Inside, a seal, wax, cracked, impressed with a rose and a vine. A letter, undated, signed Jean Cocteau, Grand Master. Cocteau died in 1963. The ink is fresh. The letter speaks of a secret older than the Templars, guarded by artists and poets. Leonardo, Newton, Debussy. Their names are stars in a private constellation. Let the lights dim. The librarian locks the outer door. You are alone with the documents. The rain stops. Paris holds its breath. Open the photograph again. Saunière's church. Saint Mary Magdalene, Rennes-le-Château. The fresco shows her in a cave, hair unbound, jar glowing. Behind her, a skull. Before her, a book. The book is open to a page no one can read. The skull grins as if it knows. Turn to the genealogy again. The line from Dagobert to Plantard is unbroken, though historians laugh. The Merovingians intermarried with the blood of Septimania, of the Visigoths, of the Desposini. The paper is crisp here, as if newly typed. A note in margin. The vine is the blood, the rose is the vessel. Magdalene's symbols, encoded in heraldry. Feel the chill of the reading room. The lamps cast long shadows. The documents breathe. They are not merely forgeries. They are palimpsests. Old truth scraped and rewritten, yet the undertext bleeds through. Plantard planted them like seeds. They grew in the dark, in the minds of readers, in the dreams of pilgrims. The Priory of Sion never existed, yet it exists now in every question asked. Walk the corridor of the library. Your footsteps echo. The shelves close in. Somewhere, a book slams shut. You reach a locked cabinet, reserve. Behind the glass, the original dossier, under guard. The label reads, Fond Plantard, accès restreint, restricted access. The key is lost or hidden or never existed. The papers wait. Let the silence deepen. It is the silence of the cave, of the crypt, of the pyre field. It is the silence of a woman's name spoken, then unspoken, then spoken again. The documents are paper, yet they pulse. They ask, what is a lie if it remembers? What is a forgery if it reveals? Sit at the table again. The folder is closed now, ribbon retied. The librarian's gloves lie folded, waiting. Outside, a siren wails, then fades. The rain begins anew, soft as confession. The dossiers sleep, but do not forget. They are initials carved in history's stone, whose initials the night refuses to say. Let the lamps flicker. Let the shadows lengthen. Let the documents carry you toward whatever parchment waits next. Thunder growls above the tiny village. Rain lashes the bizarre frescoes that should never have seen daylight. Let the storm wrap you. You stand on the narrow street of Rennes-le-Château, the wind whipping your cloak, the air thick with ozone and wet limestone. The church door is ajar, creaking on its hinges. Inside, candlelight flickers against walls painted in colors too vivid for a house of God. Breathe in the scent of damp plaster and melted wax. Your footsteps echo on the checkerboard floor, black and white, a chessboard for secrets. He is here, though long dead. Béranger Saunière, parish priest, poor as dust, then suddenly rich. His shadow lingers in every corner. Walk the nave. Let the rain drum the slate roof like impatient fingers. The stations of the cross are wrong, subtle, deliberate. Christ is carried into the tomb at night, not out. A child holds a sack of coins. A Roman soldier points to a star. The frescoes scream where sermons whisper. Feel the chill of the stone. It is colder inside than out. The altar is marble, garish, imported from Italy at a cost that bankrupted logic. Above it, Magdalene in the cave, hair unbound, eyes luminous, jar glowing like a lantern. Her gaze follows you. Beside her, a skull on a book. The book is open, but the text is unreadable, coded, or simply faded. Saunière painted it himself, or paid someone who knew. Step into the sacristy. The air is thicker here, scented with old vestments and candle smoke. A desk, oak, scarred, holds a ledger, its pages blank now. In 1885, Saunière found something. While restoring the altar, a pillar cracked. Inside, glass vials, wooden tubes, parchment rolled tight as a scroll, or so the story goes. The parchment was a genealogy or a map or a confession. He burned some. He kept some. He grew rich. Walk the villa garden, though the storm drives you back. Villa Bethania, his mansion, built for a priest who took vows of poverty. Balconies of carved stone, stained glass depicting the Magdalene preaching. A tower, Tour Magdala, overlooks the valley, its name a dare. Inside the tower, a library. Books on alchemy, Kabbalah, the Templars. A safe, empty now. A mirror that reflects the wrong room. Feel the weight of the coins. They clinked in his pocket, gold louis, Austrian ducats, Spanish doubloons. Where did they come from? The church investigated. The bishop demanded accounts. Saunière smiled, said nothing. He dined with opera singers, hosted aristocrats, built a road for pilgrims who never came. His housekeeper, Marie Leonardo, knew. She took the secret to her grave, or sold it, or buried it beneath the roses. Return to the church. The storm eases to a steady rain. The frescoes glow in the candlelight. Asmodeus at the door, demon guardian, painted in lurid green. His eyes are Saunière's eyes. The inscription above, Terribilis est locus iste. This place is terrible, not fearful, awful. The holy water stoup is held by the demon's hands. Pilgrims dip their fingers, cross themselves, feel the chill, kneel in the confessional. The wood is dark, polished by generations of whispers. Saunière heard confessions here, or gave them. He trafficked in masses, thousands ordered, few said. Money poured in from Austria, from Hungary, from names erased. He built a grotto, a calvary, a greenhouse for orchids. He planted roses that bloomed blood red. He died in 1917. On the feast of St. Anthony, stroke or poison, the doctor couldn't say. Feel the floor beneath the altar. It is hollow in places. Tap it. The sound is dull, then resonant. Tunnels, some say. To the river. To the castle ruins. To a cave where the Visigoths hid their gold. Or their secret. The parchment. The bloodline. The proof. The church sealed the tunnels or never found them. The rain keeps the secret. Walk the cemetery at dusk. The graves are tilted, moss-covered. Saunière's is simple, his name erased by time and vandals. Marie's beside it, her stone cracked. She promised to reveal all on her deathbed. She died silent. The village whispers still. Treasure hunters dig at night, metal detectors beeping like lost souls. They find coins, pottery, nothing more. Let the rain stop. The sky clears to a washed violet. The church windows glow from within, someone lighting candles for the night. Stand beneath the Tour Magdala. The view is vast, valleys, rivers, the Pyrenees blue in the distance. Saunière stood here, pipe in hand, watching the sunrise. He saw the landscape as a map, the rivers as bloodlines, the hills as breasts, the village as a chalice. Feel the melody of the coins again. They clinked in his pocket, in his dreams, in the silence after the storm. What did they buy? A villa? A garden? A church that shocked the bishop? A secret that died with him, or lived on in Marie's eyes, or in the frescoes that refused to fade? The church feared the melody. It suspended him. It excommunicated him. It could not silence him. Let the night deepen. The village sleeps. The church is locked, but the door yields to your touch. Inside, the candles are out. Only moonlight through the Magdalene window, her jar a silver orb, her hair a dark river. Sit in the front pew. Let the silence hold you. The frescoes watch. Asmodeus grins. The skull waits. The coins are gone, but their echo remains. The storm is over. The air is clean, cold. The village dreams. Saunière dreams. Magdalene dreams. The secret is safe, or lost, or waiting beneath the roses. Let the church exhale. Let it carry you toward whatever gold waits next. Moonlight silvers the cloister garden. Petals unfurl their secret fragrance to the night. Let the hush of the monastery settle over you. You stand in a square of earth walled by stone arches, the air cool and heavy with dew. The only sound is the soft drip of a fountain. 3 notes, repeated, like a heartbeat in Latin. Breathe in. The scent is rose and grape, earth and starlight. Your bare feet press into moss older than the cloister itself. She is here in symbol, Mary of Magdala, encoded in the language of flowers and fruit. Walk the gravel path. Let the stones cool your souls. On your left, a rose arbor, hybrid musks, damasks, gallicas, bred by monks who knew the old names. The blooms are dark, almost black in the moonlight, their hearts gold. Touch one. The petal is velvet, the thorn a quiet warning. The rose is her. The vine is her legacy. Feel the leaves of the grape. They climb the opposite wall, tendrils curling like script. The fruit hangs heavy, purple-black, dusted with bloom. A single bunch brushes your cheek, cool, waxy, sweet. The vine is the bloodline. The rose is the vessel. Together, they form the hortus conclusus, the enclosed garden of the Song of Songs. A place sealed, yet open to the moon. Sit on the stone bench beneath the arbor. The seat is worn hollow by centuries of contemplation. Close your eyes. Let the fragrance layer. Rose first, then grape, then the faint mineral breath of the fountain. In medieval manuscripts, Magdalene is the rose without thorns, sinless yet pierced. Her jar is the chalice, her hair, the vine that binds. The alchemists knew. Nicolas Flamel's house in Paris still stands, its facade carved with roses and vines. A silent hymn to the work. Listen to the fountain. The water falls into a basin carved with a single word, amor, love. Or Rome, read backward. The monks smiled at the pun. They tended the garden at dawn, pruning, grafting, whispering the names. Rosa gallica, the apothecary rose, used for wounds, for hearts, for secrets. Vitis vinifera, the wine grape, blood of the earth, blood of the vine, both sacred, both hers. Walk the perimeter. The arches are Romanesque, low and heavy. Each capital tells a story. Green men with leaves for beards, serpents eating their tails, a woman with a jar. The stone is warm from the day's sun, yet cool to the touch. In the center bed, a labyrinth of boxwood, smaller than Chartres, yet perfect. Walk it. The path is narrow, the hedges chest high. The moonlight guides you, inward, then out, then in again. The rose waits at the center. Reach it. A single bush, ancient, gnarled. Its blooms are five-petaled, blood-red, fragrant even in death. Kneel. The earth is soft, loamy. Beneath the bush, a stone, flat, unmarked, yet humming. The monks buried something here, a seed, a relic, a page from a forbidden gospel. The rose guards it, the vine feeds it, the garden keeps it. Feel the dew on your fingers. It is cold, almost icy. The alchemists called the rose the flos florum, flower of flowers. Its dew, collected at dawn, was the aqua vitae, life water. They distilled it with wine, with gold, with tears. The result was the philosopher's stone, not metal, but memory. Magdalene's memory. Her blood in the grape, her tears in the rose. Let the moonlight shift. A cloud passes. The garden darkens, then brightens. The fountain's note changes. Higher, then lower. In Rosicrucian manuscripts, those fragile leaves printed in secrecy, the rose cross is her symbol. The cross is the body. The rose is the soul. The vine is the bridge. The initiates met in gardens like this, cloaked in black, speaking in symbols. They planted roses at crossroads, vines at thresholds. They left no names. Stand beneath the arbor again. The grapes hang low, almost within reach. Pluck one. The skin is taut, the flesh sweet tart. The juice stains your fingers purple. The monks press the grapes in September, the roses in June. The wine aged in oak, the rosewater in glass. Both used in the Mass, blood and water, body and soul. Both hers. Walk the cloister in your mind. The cells are dark, the monks asleep. One stirs, rises, walks the garden in bare feet. He kneels at the rose, whispers a name, Magdalena. He prunes a dead branch, buries it at the vine's root. The cycle continues. Death feeds life. Silence feeds song. Feel the stone bench again. It is colder now. The dew has soaked your hem. The garden is a book. Each plant a letter. The rose, revelation. The vine, lineage. The fountain, spirit. The labyrinth, journey. Read it slowly. The monks did. The alchemists did. The Rosicrucians did. The meaning shifts with the light. Let the night deepen. The moon is high, a silver coin. The roses close. The grapes sleep. The fountain sings its 3 notes. The garden is enclosed, yet boundless. It is Magdala by the lake. It is the cave in the mountain. It is the pyre field under snow. It is the smile in the mirror. It is here. Kneel at the center stone. Press your palm to it. Feel the hum. Faint, steady, ancient. The rose drops a petal. It lands on your hand, soft as a tear. The vine drops a leaf. It lands beside the petal, green as hope. Together, they form a tiny cross. The garden exhales. Let the moonlight fade. Let the clouds gather. Let the fountain slow. The garden sleeps, but does not forget. Its fragrance lingers in the air, in the stone, in the blood of those who tend it. The rose and the vine, the vessel and the blood. Her. Let the cloister dissolve. Let the night carry you toward whatever dew waits next. Laboratory lights hum softly. A single drop on a slide holds the weight of 2 millennia. Let the sterile air settle around you. You stand in a modern lab, white walls, stainless steel, the faint ozone scent of machines. The microscope is powerful, the screen high resolution. A technician in blue gloves adjusts the focus. The drop spreads, crimson against glass, then fades to pink under the light. Breathe slowly. Let the hum sync with your pulse. She is here in code. Mary of Magdala. Her legacy reduced to hemoglobin, to mitochondrial whispers, to base pairs that refuse to forget. The slide is from a relic, linen, bone, or blood, labeled with a number, not a name. The Shroud of Turin, some say. The Oviedo cloth. A file from Vézelay. The provenance is murky, the ethics murkier. Yet the drop speaks. Feel the cool of the lab bench. It is smooth, unforgiving. The technician pipettes another sample, saliva from a living descendant, or so the claim. A family in the Languedoc, olive-skinned, dark-eyed, tracing their line to the Cathar valleys. They gave consent or did not. The forms are filed. The DNA spins in a centrifuge, a quiet hurricane. The screen flickers. A, T, C, G, letters of an ancient alphabet. Walk the corridor of the lab. The walls are lined with freezers, each drawer a frozen archive. Labels in barcode. Sample 12B, Desposini Project. The Desposini, the kin of the Lord, mentioned in Eusebius, dismissed by Rome. They survived in Edessa, in Armenia, in the south of France. Their blood mixed with Visigoth, with Moor, with the Paysan who hid the parfaits. The freezer hums, patient as stone. Sit at the sequencing station. The screen glows blue. A haplotype emerges. HV0, rare, ancient, Middle Eastern. The technician leans closer. Matches the shroud, she murmurs. Matches the Languedoc line. The words hang. Science measures. Science does not interpret. Yet the hush falls like snow. Feel the temperature drop. The lab is kept cold to preserve the samples. Your breath is visible. Another slide. A hair from the Sainte-Baume reliquary. Dark, fine, curled. The DNA is degraded, but enough remains. Mitochondrial Eve, passed mother to child, unbroken. The lineage is female. Magdalene's line. The drop, the hair, the shroud, all sing the same quiet note. Let the centrifuge slow. The vials settle. The screen displays a tree, branches of migration, roots in the Levant. The Languedoc cluster is tight, distinct. Hemoglobin anomalies, a rare variant, resistant to certain poisons. Or, so the old wives said, the Cathars fasted, bled, survived. Their blood remembered. The lab remembers. Walk to the window. Outside, the Languedoc rolls away. Vineyards silver in moonlight, cypress dark against the sky. The same hills where the parfaits hid, where Saunière dug, where the roses still bloom. The lab is in Carcassonne or Toulouse, or a nameless institute funded by anonymous grants. The night is clear, the stars sharp. The blood travels under them, unseen. Feel the weight of the ethics. The forms are signed, but the questions linger. Is it sacrilege to sequence the sacred? Is it hubris to map the divine? The technician shrugs. We measure atoms, she says. We do not weigh souls. Yet the drop holds more than carbon. It holds the garden tomb, the boat, the cave, the pyre. It holds her. Let the screen dim. The data is saved, encrypted, shared with 3 other labs. The shroud's carbon date, medieval, they said, in 1988. But the blood is older. The pollen is older. The weave is older. The drop defies the fire, the centuries, the skepticism. It pulses under the lens, alive. Walk the freezer again. Open a drawer. The vials are tiny, frosted. Label, Languedoc Cohort, 2023. 20 families. Olive growers, winemakers, a schoolteacher with eyes like the Black Madonna. They gave blood freely, or for a fee, or for the story. Their haplotype matches the relic. The tree branches, then converges. The root is her. Feel the hum of the machines. It is steady, mechanical, yet almost choral. The lab is empty now, save for you and the drop. The technician has gone. The screen sleeps. The drop dries, crystallizes, waits. Science measures atoms. The hush measures more. Let the night deepen. Let the stars wheel. Let the blood remember what the mind debates. The lineage is not proven. It is felt. In the hush of the lab, in the frost of the freezer, in the quiet recognition of a reflection in a stranger's eyes. The drop is gone. The slide is clean. The data is file. But the hush remains. Let the lab exhale. Let it carry you toward whatever darkness waits next. Candles gutter in the crypt. Wax pools like frozen tears around ebony feet. Let the darkness fold you close. You descend the narrow stair into the underchurch of Rocamadour, the stone steps worn to a shine by 1,000,000 pilgrim knees. The air is cool, damp, scented with myrrh and old stone. Your breath clouds faintly. The only light comes from votive flames, hundreds of them, dancing in iron cages, throwing shadows that leap and bow. Breathe once. Let the silence press against your ears like deep water. She waits at the far end. Notre Dame de Rocamadour, the Black Madonna, carved from walnut darkened by centuries of smoke and touch. She sits enthroned above the altar. Her face is serene, almost severe, eyes half-lidded in ancient knowing. On her lap, the child, small, solemn, hand raised in blessing or greeting. The wood is black, yet warm. Touch the air near her. It is charged, humming like a hive. Feel the texture of the crypt walls. Rough limestone, veined with quartz that catches the candlelight and throws it back in sparks. Pilgrims have carved their names here since the 12th century. Crosses, hearts, the occasional desperate plea. Guéris-moi, protège mon enfant. The stone absorbs the words, gives nothing back. Yet the Madonna hears. She always hears. Walk the narrow aisle. Your footsteps are swallowed by the hush. To your left, iron chains dangle from the ceiling, ex voto offerings from prisoners freed, sailors saved, lovers reconciled. They clink softly when the draft moves them, a faint metallic rosary. To your right, a side chapel holds another black Madonna, smaller, gypsy-crowned, draped in faded silk. Her eyes are painted wide, almost childlike. Gypsies come here every September, guitars and tambourines, dancing up the cliff path at dawn. Sit on the stone bench before the main altar. The wood is gone. Only stone remains, cold through your robe. Close your eyes. Let the candle smoke settle in your hair. The black Madonnas of Europe, there are hundreds. Montserrat, Chenstokhova, Einsiedeln, Chartres, each dark, each ancient, each linked by pilgrimage routes older than the cathedrals built to house them. Some say they are Isis in disguise, her throne carried north by crusaders. Some say they are Magdalene, darkened by cave smoke and time. Some say they are the earth herself, rising to cradle her children. Listen to the drip. Water seeps from a crack high in the vault, falls into a shallow basin. One drop every 7 seconds. The rhythm is older than the crypt. Pilgrims drink from the basin, 3 sips for healing, 7 for wisdom. The water tastes of iron and stone, of the cliff's deep memory. She drank here, in legend. Magdalene, fleeing north, resting in the cave above, leaving her imprint in the wood. Feel the weight of the child. He is carved from the same block, yet separate. His hand reaches not to bless the world, but to touch her cheek. An intimate gesture, mother and son, yet more. Sophia and Logos, wisdom and word. The Cathars saw it. The Templars saw it. The gypsies see it still. They crown her with roses, with gold, with tears. They dance until the candles gutter, and the dawn finds them asleep on the crypt floor. Walk the circuit of the crypt. 7 chapels, 7 Madonnas, 7 silences, each darker than the last. In the final chapel, a statue no larger than your hand, ebony, featureless, ancient beyond naming. Her lap is empty. Pilgrims place stones there, coins, locks of hair. The offerings pile, then vanish, taken by the custodians, or by the night, or by her. The lap never fills. Let the candlelight steady. A single flame burns before the main throne, fed by olive oil from the monastery groves. The smoke rises in a thin blue column curling around her crown. The crown is silver, tarnished, set with stones that might be glass or might be tears. Her robe is painted gold, flaking now, revealing the black wood beneath. She does not need the gold. She is the gold. Feel the hush deepen. It is not emptiness. It is fullness. The crypt is a womb, the cliff a body, the Madonna the heart. Pilgrims come here to be reborn. They climb the 216 steps on their knees, blood staining the stone. They leave lighter. They leave heavier. They leave changed. She receives them all, thief, queen, child, skeptic. Her lap is wide. Listen to the gypsy song. It rises faintly from the village below, carried on the night wind. Guitars, hand claps, a woman's voice soaring in Romani. They dance for Sarah Lacali, the black servant who came with the 3 Marys. They dance for Magdalene, the hidden bride. They dance for the dark mother who holds the world in her wooden arms. The candles flicker in time. Walk to the basin again. Cup the water. It is cold, almost shocking. Drink. Let it trace a path down your throat, into your blood. The water is the same that fell in the Sainte-Baume, that lapped the Camargue shore, that wept at Golgotha. All water is one water. All darkness is one darkness. All mothers are one mother. Kneel before her. The stone is hard, yet yielding. Place your forehead against the altar rail, iron, cold, shaped like vines. Feel the vibration, not sound, but presence. She is not wood. She is memory. She is the cave, the pyre, the rose, the vine. She is the blood in the lab, the smile in the mirror, the coins in the priest's pocket. She is here. Let the candles burn lower. The shadows lengthen, merge, become one. The gypsy song fades. The drip continues. The lap waits. The child's hand rests on her cheek, eternal. The crypt exhales. Let the darkness cradle you. Let it carry you toward whatever infancy waits next. Silver gleams in torchlight, but the true vessel is warm, breathing, hidden beneath linen and silence. Let the great hall of Camelot dissolve into mist. You stand in a smaller chamber, stone-walled, low-ceilinged, lit by a single cresset that hisses in the draught. The air is thick with beeswax and old wine. A round table, no, a simple oak plank, rests on trestles. At its center, a chalice, not gold, not jeweled, plain silver, dented, the rim worn thin by centuries of lips. Breathe in. Let the scent of bread and iron settle. She is the cup, Mary of Magdala. Not the metal, but the memory it holds. The knights are gone, Galahad, Percival, Bors, yet their shadows linger in the smoke. The Grail was never an object to be won. It was a lineage to be carried, a womb to be honored, a silence to be kept. Feel the warmth of the vessel through the linen. It pulses faintly, like a second heart. Walk the chamber's edge. The walls are hung with faded tapestries, unicorns, vines. A woman with unbound hair pouring from a jar into a cup. The threads are silk and wool, the colors muted to earth and blood. In Wolfram's Parzival, the Grail is a stone. In Chrétien, a platter. In the Vulgate, a cup. But deeper, in the unwritten verses, it is her. The Sangreal sang real, royal blood. Not in veins alone, but in the quiet space where life begins. Sit at the table. The wood is scarred by daggers, by rings, by the slow drip of wax. Lift the linen. The chalice is heavier than it looks. Inside, a residue, dark, viscous, catching the torchlight like garnet. Wine or blood or both. The Last Supper's echo. The wedding at Cana's promise. The garden tomb's commission. The cup has traveled, from Jerusalem to Glastonbury, from Antioch to Sarras, from the priest's pocket to the gypsy's dance. Feel the metal's chill, then its warmth. It remembers every hand. Joseph of Arimathea's, collecting the blood at Golgotha. The boats, rocking on the Mediterranean. The caves, dripping in the Sainte-Baume. The pyres, blackened at Montségur. The priests, clinking with gold. The roses, dewed at dawn. The labs, sterile under glass. The Madonnas, wooden and dark. All one vessel, all one silence. Listen to the cresset hiss. The flame leans toward the cup, as if drawn. In the Valenciennes relic, a silver cup in a Belgian abbey, the inscription is faint. Hic est calix. This is the cup, but the monks know better. They keep it locked, yet the key is lost. The cup is empty, yet never empty. It holds the space where the feminine divine was poured out and gathered again. Walk to the narrow window. The night is black, starless. Below, the forest breathes, oak, ash, yew. The Grail knights rode through these woods, lances lowered, hearts open. They sought a vision. They found a question. Whom does the Grail serve? Not the king? Not the quest? The suffering? The forgotten? The woman who stood when others fell? Feel the cup's rim. It is smooth, almost soft. Lips have worn it thin. Kings, beggars, children, saints. Each kiss a vow, each sip a remembering. The cup does not judge, it receives, it transforms. Water to wine, blood to light, grief to grace. The feminine principle, receptive, generative, eternal. Let the torch gutter. The chamber darkens, yet the cup glows faintly, silver catching the last ember. In the Père Laveau, The Grail is carried by a woman in white, in the quest, by an angel, in the silence between texts, by her, Magdalene, barefoot, hair unbound, carrying the future in her quiet hands. The cup is her womb. The blood is her legacy. The silence is her song. Sit again. The table creaks. Place your hands around the cup. Feel the pulse. Slow, steady, ancient. It is not metal. It is memory. It is the lake at dawn, the garden at twilight, the cave at midnight, the pyre at noon, the rose at dusk, the lab at now, the crypt at forever. All one cup, all one breath. Listen to the forest. An owl calls, then falls silent. The cup answers with its own silence. The Grail is not found. It is carried, from womb to womb, from heart to heart, from silence to silence. The knights failed because they sought. The women succeeded because they bore. Let the torch die. The chamber is dark, yet the cup remains, warm, breathing, hidden. The linen falls back. The secret is safe. The blood is safe. The future is safe. Let the darkness carry you toward whatever cloak waits next. Hooves thunder across the Ile de la Cité. Dawn breaks crimson on white mantles marked with red. Let the Seine carry you. The river is black glass, reflecting torches that flare along the bridges. You stand on the prow of a small barge, cloak snapping in the October wind. The year is 1307, Friday the 13th. The air smells of wood smoke, horse sweat, and the iron tang of fear. Breathe once. Let the chill bite your lungs. They ride. The Knights Templar. White cloaks, red crosses, pate, swords sheathed but ready. Their faces are grim beneath mailed coifs. Behind them, the city stirs. Bakers stoking ovens, fishwives calling, the first bells of Notre Dame tolling prime. Ahead, the Grand Master's palace on the temple grounds, stone walls, iron gates, a fortress within Paris. The king's men wait in the shadows, seals in hand, betrayal in their eyes. Feel the barge rock. The current is swift, the oarsman silent. You are not seen. You are memory. The Templars built this order on the blood of the First Crusade, on the dust of Jerusalem, on the silence of the Holy Sepulchre. They guarded pilgrims, banked gold, whispered secrets in chapter houses from Acre to Tamar. Their seal, two knights on one horse, poverty or duality. Their patron, the poor fellow soldiers of Christ. Their hidden heart, her. Walk the temple grounds in your mind. The enclosure is vast, church, cloister, stables, a round nave modeled on the dome of the rock. The stone is pale, the dawn light rose. Inside the church, the knights kneel for matins. Their voices rise in plainchant, Latin, stark, ancient, Ave Maria, Gratia plena. But beneath the approved hymn, another name, Magdalena, Baphomet. The inquisitors will call it. Sophia, the initiates know. The head they venerated, skull or statue or memory, was hers. Feel the temperature drop. The king's men move. Philip the Fair, indebted, desperate, hungry for gold. His spies have watched for years. The Templars' wealth is legend. Chests of Byzance, lands from Cyprus to Champagne, a fleet that rivals Venice. But the true treasure is not coin. It is knowledge. Parchments from Outremer, maps to hidden caves, a lineage traced to the Desposini. A cup that is not a cup. Listen to the gates crash open, hooves on cobblestone, shouts in French. The Templars rise as one, hands to swords. But the order is to yield. Jacques de Molay, Grand Master, stands tall, beard white, eyes steady. He knows. The chignon parchment, hidden, later found, will absolve him. But not today. Today, the arrests begin. 138 nights in Paris alone. Chains clink, torches hiss. The city watches, silent. Walk the dungeons beneath the temple. The air is foul, mold, excrement, despair. The knights are stripped of mantles, clothed in rags. The inquisitors come with hot irons with questions. Do you worship a head? Do you spit on the cross? Do you kiss the navel of the master? The confessions are coerced, the trials a farce. Yet in the silence between screams, a whisper. Magdalena. The head is hers. The kiss is reverence. The cross is not denied but reinterpreted. Feel the stone walls. They are damp, slick with condensation, carved here, faint and hurried, a chalice, a rose, a vine. The Templars built in symbols. Their churches are round, wombs, not tombs. Their vaults hide tunnels to the Seine, to the catacombs, to Scotland. On the night of the arrests, 18 galleys slip from La Rochelle, destination unknown. Cargo, the treasure, the head, the cup, the blood. Let the dawn brighten. The city is awake now. The knights are marched through the streets, chains rattling like rosaries. The crowd jeers, then falls silent. The red cross is torn from mantles, trampled in mud. But the echo remains. In the stones of Rosslyn, in the banks of Switzerland, in the quiet orders that rose from the ashes. The Templars fell, but the secret changed its cloak. Walk the Seine at dusk. The water is blood under the setting sun. The temple is gone, razed, rebuilt, forgotten. Yet the echo travels. From Acres tunnels, where the knights dug beneath the temple mount. From Chignon's parchment, where the Pope absolved them in secret. From the pyre in 1314, where de Molay cursed the king and Pope to die within the year. They did. The echo did not. Feel the weight of the red cross. It is not burden. It is banner. The Templars venerated the feminine, Baphomet as Sophia, Magdalene as bride. Their chapels held black Madonnas. Their rituals, the kiss of peace. Their treasure, the bloodline. The arrest was not for heresy. It was for threat. The church feared the cup. The king feared the gold. Both feared her. Let the night gather. The city sleeps. The river flows. The echo rides the current. North to Scotland, west to Portugal, south to the Languedoc. The cloak changes. Freemasons, Rosicrucians, quiet families with old eyes. The cup is carried. The head is hidden. The blood is safe. Let the barge drift. Let the torches fade. Let the echo carry you toward whatever stone waits next. Vaulted shadows swallow sound. Every carved face seems to lean forward, listening. Let the chill of the chapel seep into your bones. You stand in Rosslyn, the collegiate church of St. Matthew, built in the mid-15th century by a Sinclair who knew more than he told. The stone is honey gold in the candlelight, the air thick with the scent of beeswax and old wood. Your breath is the only warmth. Breathe once. Let the silence press like a held note. She is here in every arch and boss, Mary of Magdala, encoded in the green men who sprout leaves from their mouths, in the vines that twist around pillars like living veins, in the angels who play lutes and pipes in the Lady Chapel. Walk the nave slowly. Let your fingertips trail the stone, cool, smooth, humming faintly. The chapel is small, yet vast. Every surface is carved, a riot of symbolism that defies the eye and courts the soul. Feel the floor beneath your soles. It is uneven, worn by centuries of boots and bare feet. The crypt is sealed now, but the echo of it lingers. Rumors of tunnels, of Templar gold, of a head wrapped in silk. The Sinclairs were Templar kin, or so the story goes. When the order fell, the fleet sailed north. 18 galleys. One reached the fourth. The treasure sleeps beneath, or in the stone, or in the music no one has played. Pause at the apprentice pillar. It rises in the south aisle, a single column of breathtaking intricacy. Spirals, flowers, dragons, vines that seem to grow before your eyes. Legend says the master mason carved a twin in Rome, left his apprentice to copy it. The boy surpassed him. The master, in envy, struck him dead. His face is carved in a corner, eyes wide, mouth open in eternal scream, but look closer. The pillar is not decoration. It is a score, a frozen song. Feel the vibration in the stone. It is not wind. It is resonance. In 2005, musicians placed sensors on the cubes, those mysterious bosses projecting from the arches. Each cube is carved with a different pattern. When struck, they sing, not random, a melody, a scale, a chant older than the chapel. The green men listen. The angels play. The vines pulse. The pillar is the conductor. The chapel is the choir. Walk the Lady Chapel. The vault is a jungle of stone. Maize before Columbus, aloe, trillium, plants unknown to Europe in 1446. The Sinclairs sailed west, or knew those who did. The carvings are a map, a diary, a prayer. In the center, boss, a rose. 5 petals. Blood red in the mind's eye. Her rose. The jar is hidden in the foliage. The cup in the curve of a leaf. The bloodline in the vine that never ends. Sit in the north aisle. The pew is oak, dark with age. Close your eyes. Let the candlelight flicker behind your lids. The chapel was never finished. The walls stopped short, open to the sky. The Sinclairs ran out of money, or time, or will. Yet the silence is complete. The carvings speak louder than sermons. The green men are pagan, the angels Christian, the vines both. The chapel is a hinge, between worlds, between centuries, between her and us. Listen to the cubes. They are silent now, yet the memory sings. The melody is Gregorian or older, Aramaic perhaps, carried from Outremer. The Templars chanted it in their round churches. The Sinclairs carved it in stone. The apprentice dreamed it. The master killed for it. The song waits. For the right voice. For the right silence. Feel the crypt's pull. The stairs are blocked, but the air remembers. Below, the stone is colder, wetter. A vault or a womb. The head is there, or was. Magdalene's skull, or a copy, or a symbol. The cup beside it, or a memory. The blood in the stone, or in the blood of those who built. The Sinclairs married into the old lines. Their eyes were dark, their silence deep. They knew. Walk the exterior at dusk. The chapel glows from within, a lantern in the mist. The graveyard is quiet, the stones tilted like old teeth. A Sinclair tomb, effigy of a knight, hands crossed, sword at side. His feet rest on a dog, or a lion, or a secret. The mist rises from the esk, swallowing the valley. The chapel stands alone, a ship of stone. The carvings watch, the green men breathe, the vines grow. Let the night deepen. The candles are snuffed, one by one. The chapel is dark, yet not empty. The cubes hold their note. The pillar holds its spiral. The rose holds its heart. The silence is a choir. It sings of the boat, the cave, the pyre, the priest, the lab, the crypt, the cup. It sings of her. Carried in stone, in blood, in silence. Let the chapel exhale. Let it carry you toward whatever awakening waits next. Dawn breaks over the Galilee, pale gold spilling across the water like liquid forgiveness. Let the lake cradle you. You stand on the shore of Magdala, where the story began, grit beneath your soles, the scent of crushed fennel and salt heavy in the air. The ruins are quiet now, the archaeologists gone, the tourists yet to come. A single heron lifts from the reeds, wings beating slow and deliberate. Breathe once. Let the circle close. She is here, Mary of Magdala. Not in stone, not in relic, not in code. In the seed. The seed she carried. From the garden tomb to the boat, From the cave to the vine, from the pyre to the rose, from the lab to the crypt, from the cup to the chapel. The seed awakens, not in myth, not in blood, in you. Feel the ground beneath you. It is the same earth, basalt and silt, fish bones and olive pits. 2,000 years compressed into a single breath. The synagogue's foundation stones lie exposed. The mikveh still holds water. The fish vats gleam with ancient brine. The town is gone, yet not gone. The lake remembers. The wind remembers. The seed remembers. Walk the cardo again. The columns are fallen, yet their shadows stand. Your footsteps echo, then fade. The seed is not buried, it is carried. In the hush between heartbeats, in the space between questions, in the silence after the ending line. You have walked the circle, dust, flame, witness, flight, cave, whisper, cathedral, pyre, mirror, paper, priest, garden, blood, lap, cup, echo, choir. Now, the awakening? Sit on a fallen column. The stone is warm from the night, cool from the dawn. Close your eyes. Let the lake's breath wash over you. The seed is not a thing. It is a knowing. A standing where others fell, a pouring where others hoarded, a witnessing where others turned away, a carrying where others dropped the weight. The seed is the feminine divine, receptive, fierce, unbroken. Feel the temperature rise. The sun climbs, gilding the water, the reeds, the ruins. A fisherman casts his net, the same motion as 2 millennia ago. The net sinks, rises, empty or full. The lake does not judge. The seed does not judge. It asks only, what do you carry? What do you pour? What do you witness? What do you awaken? Listen to the heron's wings. They beat once, twice, then still. The silence is not empty. It is pregnant. The circle is not closed. It is open. The story does not end. It begins again. In every woman who stands, in every man who listens, in every child who asks, in every silence that sings. Walk to the water's edge. The lake is glass, reflecting the sky, the hills, your face. Kneel. Let the wavelets touch your fingers. The water is cold, clear, alive. Cup it. Drink. Let it trace the path the nard once took, down the throat, into the blood, into the marrow. The seed is here, in the water, in the grit, in the breath. Stand. The sun is higher now, the light fierce. The ruins glow. The synagogue's stones hum. The mikveh's water ripples. The fish vats gleam. The seed awakens. Not in a garden, not in a cave, not in a crypt, in the open, in the now, in the you. Feel the circle complete, yet endless. The dust of Magdala clings to your souls, soft as forgiveness. The flame of the anointing lingers in your veins, warm as covenant. The witness at the cross steadies your spine, firm as basalt. The flight to the south lifts your heart, light as gulls. The cave's silence fills your lungs, deep as breath. The Merovingian whisper threads your blood, quiet as roots. The cathedral's light gilds your skin, gold as glass. The pyre's ash dusts your hair, dark as memory. The mirror's smile curves your lips, knowing as dawn. The priest's coins clink in your pocket, heavy as truth. The rose's dew beads on your lashes, clear as tears. The lab's hush sinks your pulse, steady as science. The Madonna's lap cradles your weariness, warm as womb. The cup's pulse beats in your chest, alive as love. The Templar echo rides your breath, fierce as wind. The choir's note sings in your throat, eternal as stone. Let the lake exhale. Let the heron return. Let the fisherman cast again. The seed is awake. It is you. It is us. It is her. Walk the shore. The circle is not a line. It is a spiral. Outward, inward, upward. The story does not end. It awakens. Let the dawn carry you toward whatever shore waits next. Sunlight fractures through the canopy of an ancient cedar grove. Needles carpet the ground like a prayer rug woven by wind. Let the forest receive you. You are no longer on the Galilean shore, yet the lake's rhythm follows, steady, tidal, eternal. The trees rise tall and dark, their trunks scarred by lightning and time, their branches interlaced like the fingers of old friends. The air is sharp with resin and moss, cool with the breath of hidden springs. Breathe once. Let the spiral begin. She is the spiral, Mary of Magdala. Not a point, not a line, but a curve that widens and tightens, drawing all things inward, then releasing them transformed. Walk the narrow path. Let the needles cushion your steps. The grove is silent, yet alive. Squirrels flicker red in the branches. A raven croaks once, then listens. The spiral is not a shape. It is a motion, a becoming. Feel the earth beneath you. It is soft, loamy, alive with mycelium, white threads binding root to root, tree to tree, past to future. The cedar is her tree. Lebanon cedar carried by Phoenician ships, planted by Templar hands whispered in Rosicrucian gardens. Its wood built the temple, the ark, the cross. Its scent anoints the air, heavy and sacred. Touch the bark, rough, warm, pulsing faintly. The spiral begins here, in the rings of the tree, in the curl of the fern, in the whirl of your fingerprint. Sit beneath the oldest cedar. Its trunk is wide as a doorway, its roots sprawling like the veins of the earth. The shade is deep, the light dappled gold. Close your eyes. Let the grove's breath sink with yours. The spiral unfurls. From the dust of Magdala, it rose, grit and fish scales, salt and scripture. Through the flame of anointing, it curved, nard and covenant, extravagance and prophecy. At the cross, it tightened, blood and storm, witness and commission. In the boat, it widened, salt and stars, exile and arrival. Feel the motion. The spiral is not static, it moves. In the cave, it coiled inward, drip and silence, bone and breath. In the Merovingian whisper, it threaded, blood and vine, crown and shadow. In the cathedral's rose, it bloomed, glass and light, labyrinth and song. In the pyre's ash, it scattered, flame and faith, release and rebirth. In the mirror's smile, it reflected, sfumato and knowing, master and muse. In the priest's coins, it clinked, gold and greed, secret and sacrifice. In the garden's dew, it glistened, rose and grape, vessel and blood. In the lab's hush, it pulsed, atoms and lineage, science and soul. In the Madonna's lap, it rested, wood and warmth, mother and mystery. In the cup's pulse, it beat, silver and memory, womb and grail. In the Templar echo, it rode, hooves and chains, fall and flight. In Roslyn's choir, it sang, stone and cube, silence and score. In the awakening seed, it sprouted, lake and heart, you and her. Listen to the raven, it calls again, then flies, black against gold, a comma in the sky. The spiral is not a path to follow. It is a path to become. The grove knows. The cedar knows. The earth knows. The seed you carry is not hers alone. It is yours. Planted in the dust, watered by the flame, rooted in the witness, carried by the flight, nourished by the cave, whispered by the blood, sung by the stone, awakened by the lake. Walk the spiral path. It winds through the grove, unmarked yet clear. Step, pause, step. The cedars lean closer, their needles brushing your shoulders like a blessing. The path tightens, then widens, then tightens again. At the center, a clearing. A single stone, basalt, smooth, warm. No carving, no name. Only a shallow basin, filled with rainwater that reflects the sky. Kneel. Let your reflection merge with the clouds, the cedar tops, the raven's wing. Feel the basin's edge. It is worn, as if many hands have rested here. The water is still, yet alive. Dip your fingers. The cold shocks, then soothes. The spiral is in the ripple. Outward, inward, outward. The seed is in the drop. Carried, released, carried again. The grove is the circle, the spiral, the seed. The lake is the mirror, the cup, the womb. You are the motion, the becoming, the unfurling. Stand. The sun is higher now, the light fierce through the branches. The cedars glow, their trunks amber, their needles emerald. The raven returns, perches on a low branch, eyes bright as obsidian. It watches, it waits. The spiral does not end, it opens. From the grove to the world, from the seed to the forest, from her to you to all. Walk the path outward. The spiral widens, the cedars part, the light grows. The grove releases you, yet keeps you. The lake's rhythm follows, steady, tidal, eternal. The seed is awake. It is the dust on your soles, the resin on your fingers, the raven's call in your ears. It is the question you carry, the silence you sing, the motion you become. Let the forest exhale. Let the spiral carry you toward whatever grove waits next. Twilight drapes the world in indigo. The first star ignites above the horizon like a struck match. Let the threshold hold you. You stand at the edge of a vast plain. No lake, no grove, no stone chapel, only the open sky and the dark earth, breathing in unison. The wind is gentle, carrying the scent of distant rain and something older, the memory of water, of fire, of blood. Your shadow stretches long, then merges with the night. Breathe once. Let the return begin. She is the return. Mary of Magdala. Not a destination, not a relic, but the motion that circles back to the beginning, carrying all that was gathered along the way. The spiral has unfurled. Now it folds, not to close, but to deepen. Walk the plain. Let the grass brush your calves, cool and silver in the starlight. The earth is soft, yielding, yet firm, holding the imprint of every foot that ever walked here and every foot that ever will. Feel the ground's pulse. It is slow, ancient, patient. Beneath the grass, the roots of the world intertwine. Cedar and olive, rose and vine, basalt and silt. The plain is not empty. It is full of endings that are beginnings. The dust of Magdala settles here, carried on the wind from the lake. The flame of the anointing flickers in the starlight, warm and fragrant. The witness at the cross stands in your spine, unyielding. The boat rocks gently in your blood, salt and stars. The cave drips in your ears, steady as prayer. The whisper threads your breath, quiet as roots. The rose blooms in your chest, dark and gold. The pyre's ash dusts your skin, soft as forgiveness. The mirror smiles in your eyes, knowing and kind. The coins clink in your silence, heavy with truth. The dew beads on your tongue, clear as tears. The lab's hush sinks your heart, steady as science. The Madonna's lap cradles your weariness, warm as womb. The cup pulses in your hands, alive with memory. The echo rides your voice, fierce as wind. The choir sings in your bones, eternal as stone. The seed sprouts in your step, green and fierce. Sit in the grass. The earth receives you, cool and fragrant. Lie back. Let the sky be your vault, the stars your rose window. The plain is the circle, the spiral, the seed, the return. The return is not repetition, it is recognition. The dust was never left behind. The flame never went out. The witness never looked away. The boat never sank. The cave never closed. The whisper never faded. The rose never withered. The pyre never consumed. The mirror never cracked. The coins never spent. The dew never dried. The hush never broke. The lap never emptied. The cup never spilled. The echo never died. The choir never stopped. The seed never slept. Feel the starlight on your skin. It is cool, then warm, then cool again. The return is the moment when the spiral touches itself, not to end, but to remember. The plain is Magdala, and the cave, and the pyre, and the grove, and the lab, and the crypt, and the cup, and the choir, all one place, all one breath, all one return. You are the threshold. You are the motion. You are the becoming that circles back to carry forward. Listen to the wind. It moves across the plain, gathering the scents of the world. Lake and cedar, nard and ash, rose and grape, blood and stone. It lifts your hair, brushes your cheek, fills your lungs. The wind is her breath. The breath that said Mary in the garden. The breath that poured the nard. The breath that stood beneath the cross. The breath that boarded the boat. The breath that dripped in the cave. The breath that whispered in the blood. The breath that sang in the rose. The breath that burned in the pyre. The breath that smiled in the mirror. The breath that clinked in the coins. The breath that dewed the garden. The breath that hushed the lab. The breath that cradled in the lap. The breath that pulsed in the cup. The breath that echoed in the Templar. The breath that sang in the choir. The breath that sprouted the seed. The breath that returns. Stand. The plain is vast, yet intimate. The stars are close, yet infinite. Walk. The grass parts, then closes behind you. The return is not a place to reach. It is a motion to embody. The spiral does not end, it deepens. From the plain to the world, from the return to the now, from her to you to all. Feel the earth's embrace. It is soft, yet strong. The seed is not carried. It is lived. The return is not a memory. It is a presence. The plain is the circle, the spiral, the seed, the return, the now. The now is the moment when the ending line becomes the beginning breath. Let the starlight guide you. Let the wind carry you. Let the return unfold. A single candle burns in an empty room. Its flame is steady, neither growing nor shrinking. Let the quiet claim you. You sit cross-legged on a woven mat, the floor cool beneath you, the walls bare save for the play of light and shadow. Outside, the world turns, cities hum, oceans shift, stars wheel. But here, time folds into a single point. The candle's wick is black, the wax pooling gold. Breathe once. Let the now expand. She is the now, Mary of Magdala. Not past, not future, but the eternal present where all spirals converge. The breath you draw is hers, the same that poured the nard, stood at the cross, boarded the boat, dripped in the cave, whispered in blood, bloomed in the rose, burned in the pyre, smiled in the mirror, clinked in coins, dewed the garden, hushed the lab, cradled in the lap, pulsed in the cup, echoed in the Templar, sang in the choir, sprouted the seed, returned on the plain. All one breath, all one now. Feel the air on your skin. It is neither warm nor cold, but alive, moving in, moving out, carrying the scent of candle smoke and something deeper, the lake at dawn, the cedar at twilight, the rose at midnight. The room is small, yet boundless. The mat is coarse, yet soft. The candle is flame, yet stillness. The now is not a moment. It is a motion, a holding, a releasing. Sit straighter. Let your spine align with the flame's upright grace. The breath enters, cool, through the nostrils, down the throat, into the chest, filling the belly. It pauses. It releases. Warm, through the mouth, carrying the day's weight, the year's questions, the lifetime's stories. The candle does not flicker. The now does not waver. The breath is the spiral, the seed, the return, the awakening, the eternal. Listen to the silence. It is not absence, it is presence. The flame speaks without sound. The mat holds without grasping. The walls reflect without judging. The breath is the vessel, empty yet full. The now is the cup, silver, dented, warm with memory. You are the breath. You are the now. You are her. Feel the candle's heat. It is close, yet not burning. The wax pools, then hardens, then pools again. The cycle is the spiral. The spiral is the breath. The breath is the now. From the first inhale in the dust of Magdala to this exhale in the quiet room, the motion is unbroken. The nard flows in the lungs. The cross stands in the heart. The boat rocks in the blood. The cave drips in the ears. The whisper threads the thoughts. The rose blooms in the chest. The pyre warms the skin. The mirror reflects the eyes. The coins rest in the silence. The dew beads on the tongue. The lab measures the pulse. The lap cradles the weariness. The cup fills the hands. The echo rides the voice. The choir sings in the bones. The seed sprouts in the step. The plane stretches in the mind. The return circles in the breath. Let the flame steady. Let the breath deepen. The now is not a point in time. It is the space where time dissolves. The candle is not burning down. It is burning up, into light, into memory, into presence. The breath is not consuming air. It is creating space. The now is not holding you. It is releasing you into the next inhale, the next exhale, the next now. Stand slowly. The mat creaks faintly. The candle remains, flame upright, wick black, wax gold. Walk to the window. The glass is cool, the night beyond vast. The stars are sharp, the moon a thin crescent. The world is quiet yet alive. The breath fogs the glass, then clears. The now is here, in the room, in the plain, in the lake, in the grove, in the cave, in the crypt, in the cup, in the choir, in you. Feel the threshold. It is not a door. It is a breath. Step through. The room dissolves, yet remains. The candle burns, yet does not diminish. The now expands, yet does not scatter. The breath carries you out of the room, into the night, into the world, into the eternal. Walk the night. The grass is damp, the air cool. The stars guide, the wind accompanies. The breath is the motion. The now is the space. The return is the recognition. The spiral is the path. The seed is the step. She is the breath. You are the now. Let the night carry you. Let the breath deepen. Let the now unfold. Moonlight threads the loom of the night. A single silver strand glints between warp and weft. Let the hush of the weaving house envelop you. You stand in a low-beamed room, the air thick with the scent of lanolin and lavender, the faint creak of wood and the soft thud of the beater. The loom is ancient, oak darkened by generations of hands, its heddles worn smooth, its treadles polished by bare feet. A woman sits before it, her back straight, her fingers deft. Her hair is unbound, silver and black, catching the moonlight like a river at dusk. Breathe once, let the rhythm begin. She is the weaver, Mary of Magdala. Not the cloth, not the loom, but the thread that binds all things, past to present, dust to star, breath to breath. The shuttle flies, clack, slide, clack, drawing the silver strand through the warp of time. The cloth grows, inch by inch, a tapestry of light and shadow, of lake and flame, of witness and return. Watch her hands. They are scarred, yet gentle. They know the weight of the jar, the pull of the oar, the drip of the cave, the heat of the pyre. Feel the floor beneath you. It is packed earth, cool and firm, scattered with snippets of wool and flax. The loom's frame hums faintly, a low note that syncs with your pulse. The warp is linen, strong, pale, spun from the fields of Galilee. The weft is wool, dyed with madder and woad, rose and indigo, blood and sky. The thread is neither. It is memory. It is breath. It is now. Sit beside her. The bench is narrow, worn smooth. She does not look up, yet her smile is in the cloth. The tapestry unfolds, Magdala's dust in the lower corner, fish scales glinting like sequins. The flame of the anointing rises in scarlet threads, nard blooming in gold. The cross stands stark, black wool against crimson, nails glinting in silver. The boat rocks in waves of indigo, salt spray in white. The cave drips in gray, stalactites like tears. The whisper threads in green, vine and blood. The rose blooms in the center, 5 petals of deepest red. The pyre smolders in ash and orange. The mirror reflects in quicksilver. The coins clink in copper. The dew beads in pearl. The lab hums in steel. The lap cradles in ebony. The cup pulses in garnet. The echo rides in scarlet. The choir sings in gold. The seed sprouts in emerald. The plain stretches in umber. The breath circles in white. Feel the shuttle's motion. It is not mechanical. It is alive. Clack, slide, clack. Each pass a breath. Each beat a heart. The weaver's foot presses the treadle, left, right, left, changing the shed, shifting the pattern. The cloth is not flat. It is deep. Layers upon layers, stories woven into stories, lives into lives. The thread is the spiral, the seed, the return, the now. It binds without binding. It holds without grasping. It releases without losing. Listen to the loom's song. It is soft, yet vast. The beater thuds, the heddles clack, the shuttle whispers. The rhythm is the lake, the drip, the wind, the breath. The weaver hums, low, wordless, ancient. The melody is Aramaic, or Occitan, or the language of the heart. It is the song of the garden tomb, the boat, the cave, the pyre, the rose, the lab, the crypt, the cup, the choir, the plain, the now. All one song, all one thread. Walk the room's edge. The walls are hung with finished tapestries, faded, yet luminous. One shows the anointing, her hair a river of gold. Another the cross, her shadow merging with the upright. Another, the boat, stars above, horses below. Another, the cave, angels in white. Another, the rose, dew at its heart. Another, the cup, pulsing in her hands. Another, the plain, stars wheeling. Another, the now, a single candle burning. The thread connects them all. The weaver connects them all. You connect them all. Feel the cloth's texture. It is soft, yet strong. Wool and linen, memory and breath. Run your fingers over the rose. The petals are raised, the thorns subtle. Press the cross. The nails are cold, the blood warm. Touch the cup. It pulses faintly, alive. The tapestry is not finished. It never will be. The weaver works. The shuttle flies. The thread binds. The now is the cloth. The cloth is the now. Let the moonlight shift. The weaver pauses, ties off the thread, begins a new one, gold this time, bright as dawn. The pattern changes, yet remains. The spiral tightens, then widens. The seed sprouts, then flowers. The return circles, then opens. The breath inhales, then exhales. The now holds, then releases. The weaver smiles, her eyes the color of deep water. She sees you. She knows you. She is you. Stand behind her. Place your hands on her shoulders. They are warm, strong, scarred. Feel the rhythm through her. Treadle, shuttle, beater, breath. The loom is your heart. The thread is your life. The cloth is your story. The weaver is her. The weaver is you. The weaver is all. Let the night deepen. The candle in the corner burns low, yet steady. The loom's song softens, yet continues. The tapestry grows, yet is complete. The thread binds, yet is free. The now is the weaving. The weaving is the now. Let the loom exhale. Let the thread carry you toward whatever pattern waits next.